Right, do you want to do the usual sound checks?
Well, I will do when you come on.
It tells me I'm live. We'll just wait for the sound checks.
Says I'm waiting.
Boom, boom,
There
boom.
you go. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can.
Mine didn't come on. So there's another lag there. Okay. Well, good evening, people. How are we today? Holly, good evening, Missy. Hi, Box. Good evening, mate. Stitch. Hope you're well. Oh, sorry about that. Got a bit of wind tonight. 5v5. Thank you. Jenny, good evening, my dear. We'll let a few more drop in. Oh, actually, one's dropped out. We had 8 in there just now. And now we're back up to 14. Well, I've got no scripts and notes here today, so we're winging it again. We'll see how long I last tonight. I'm still getting a bit of the fatigue, but at the moment I'm all right. Rob, good evening, mate. I may be a bit pissed. Fair enough. Ivor, good evening, mate. Moo, good evening. Oh, dear. Well, what a day it's been. Looking around at what's been going on. Bleach Demon, good evening. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Exactly. Tony, good evening, mate. Who else we got coming in? Good evening to the lurkers in the background, by the way. Especially my chief lurker. Thank you very much for that little clip that I used today. Phil, good evening, mate. Yeah, we're not too bad. I'm still suffering a bit from the fatigue. Usually it's not too bad, but the last week or two it's kind of hit me a bit more. Sue, good evening, my dear. How are you?
I think I'm allergic to YouTube.
You're allergic to YouTube?
I've been fine all day and I started coughing and spluttering again.
I've got to have my fix. Clear my nose. Yeah, it's been a bit of a surprising day in the old House of Corruption there today with the Rwandan immigrants bill going backwards and forwards. But apparently it's not going to raise its ugly head again until Monday now. Resist, good evening, buddy. Some of it went back to the Lords, some of it has been passed. But Scar, good evening. Hope you're well, mate. As you can hear, I'm a little bit bunged up as well. And Mrs. W has had a bit of the lurgy the last couple of days. A bit of the sniffles and that, which is not surprising with the weather. I mean, looking out the window now, it's absolutely black out there. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a bit of thunder and lightning in that for the colour of that. But it has been raining on and off. Oh, you've decided to wake up, have you, cat? Go back to sleep. Leave me alone. Don't bug me. But, yeah, Rishi, Roland there has been coming out with a load of shit, hasn't he? What was it he said the other day? Everybody should get used to their bunker routine if we go to war. I mean, I'll cover this in tomorrow's video, but how many of us have got bunkers? We certainly ain't. I mean, if it goes off big time with nukes and shit, the best thing you can do is just go out and dig a 6 foot by 6 foot hole, 3 foot wide, and lay in it.
Bend over, put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
No, we'd just go upstairs. I'll kiss your ass goodbye. Patria, good evening, mate. Yeah, exactly, Holly. It's actually it's less than half of that, Scar. The numbers they were giving, they said if it goes through, they hope to remove 300 by the end of next year. Well, considering on average there's 500 a bloody day coming over.
But they got nobody to fly the planes.
Yeah, this is the issue. There's no airlines are coming forward to join in. As I said in the video, that even the Rwandan National Airline have said they're not going to fly anybody. And the fact that they've sold off most of the properties that they were going to house these people in tells you exactly how much they're interested in it. You know, they took the 1,300 million or whatever it was that was given to them. And obviously we're not going to get anything back for it. But yeah, it's Sky News was sent a few days ago with France in the new they can send people back to the. They should be able to, but we know they won't sue. There's been a couple of radio chatter clips that have. One's been released. The other one, I think it was one of the mainstream media got hold of it. It was apparently a civilian vessel in the Channel that reported to the Coast Guard that they were seeing a boat in the Channel. Good evening, Graham. Yeah, no worries about flying visit, mate. And the Coast Guard said, don't worry about it. We have an agreement with Paris that they're escorting them over and then we meet them. The other message was, I think it was last week that somebody recorded, was between the French Navy and our Coast Guard or Border Force, telling them exactly where they were, coordinates they would meet them at. They said, obviously, you've got us on radar. Yeah, it is, Sue. It's absolutely bloody ridiculous. I mean, we've given the French God knows how many millions to actually stop them, and they've done everything but, you know. Valhalla. Yeah, die with a weapon in your hand. I'll keep my hand down my trousers. I'll always die with a weapon in my hand. Might not be sharp. But YouTube have been pissing me about all day today. Now, I know sometimes the comments are a bit slow on my videos, and I don't get that many anyway. But the channel numbers were showing, I think it was 35 comments. But when I actually looked in my little hidey holes where they hide them, I actually found over 50 comments. So whether they're just showing them to me on my channel, whether they're out there on the video, I've no idea. It's double that, Graham. They gave them, I think it was 50 million 2 years back or whatever. And then they gave them another 20, 30 million, whatever it was last year. We've got absolutely fuck all for it, other than loads and loads of boats. I've always said if they're going to do it the way they're doing it, at least be fucking honest about it. Do it the cheapest way possible, which would be load them all on the cross-channel ferries. Yeah, it is, Graham. It's when you dive into it, mate, and see the money they're paying out. You know, it's the millions and millions they've given to Rwanda as well. It's not just you, Rob. There's a lot of people on there. I've even seen comments and found comments that have been removed that all they've said is respects Roger and a thumbs up, which nothing wrong with it at all, you know. But they do it to harass us creators, basically. Yeah. They pay Premier League, at least they stop some things. Yeah, yeah. I don't do football, Scar. It's I think the last time I played it I was at school, to be honest. The only went to 3 matches ever in my lifetime. One was at Oxford United when I was a kid with my uncle, and funny enough, that was the year when the wall fell down at the Manor End. A load of people got their legs broke and shit. And the other 2 times, once was for Oxford and once to Swindon, and literally me and the lads went just for a fight. So, yeah, Rob, it's all to harass creators. You know, if I was putting up funny cat videos all day, then they'd probably leave me alone. But good evening, Stuart. No worries, buddy. I was going to say I don't keep time. The only one that needs to be here on time is me and Mrs. W, of course. But anybody else can come and go whenever they want, mate. But yeah, YouTube does things like that. I mean, there's a bit of shit going on at the moment. I don't usually watch the guy. I don't subscribe to him. But Andy, the Gabby Cabby, some of you may watch him, subscribe to him. He said he'd never have ads or would something to do with the ads, but people that were paying premium are still seeing ads that he's had put in their private. Oh, here comes the rain. Oh, hell. And people are kicking up about it. Well, the only difference between them and the normal YouTube ads is the YouTube ads, you've got to wait for a little while before you can skip through them. But when you do your private ads like that with deal with a company, you can click through them straight away. You can scroll past them.
Say,
what?
Can I just interrupt a minute and let everybody know that I am okay? I'm just letting you have a go first before I take over. Because that's Rob W. and Missy Moon that says, am I okay? Because I'm quiet. So, yeah.
Think yourself lucky. It's nice to have a quiet. Sorry. Karen, good evening. From over there on the Emerald Isle, I believe. Oh, it's your birthday tomorrow, is it, Stuart? Okay, I'll make a note of that. You might even get a shout out in tomorrow's video then. She's not telling you what your treat is. You might get it before you get up. You never know. Or you might have to go through the day and stay sober hoping you're going to get it. But I know you guys do nice little trips and stuff like that. So, no, it's all right, Missy. I mean, it's, to be honest, I quite like the fact that if I go MIA for a day and don't do a video, I do get quite a few messages and DMs on Facebook and stuff asking if I'm okay and, you know, why isn't there a video today? On that score, I will say with YouTube, all right, Graham, cheers for dropping in, buddy. Take it easy. They don't often send alerts out. So always have a check. If I doing a video on the day, 99 out of 100 times, it's usually before midday. So if you're ever wondering, have a quick check around midday, and if there ain't nothing there by then, it won't be going up. Oh, nice shirt. Last time we stayed at a hotel, it cost us 120 odd quid for the night. No bloody food, no nothing. And looked out the window to a fucking building site.
That was Dan's fault.
Yeah. But that was when we went up for Pap's birthday last year. But it was the last room in the hotel, and none of the other local hotels had any vacancies whatsoever. There was a big jet ski festival going on because the hotel was on the lake.
And the one he recommended had nothing at all, so we reckoned it was full of immigrants.
Yeah, a lot of them are full of immigrants. Although they said they were going to empty 150 hotels of them. All they've done is took them out of one hotel, and most of them have gone into other hotels. But Yorkshire Rose is still going around them. She's still finding out which ones are housing them and stuff like that. And there's plenty of them still going in. I can take that.
Yes,
banner
at
off
least we got to meet the Moo.
Yeah, we met Moo. Was part of a long 5-year service to the company. Yeah, it's unusual now. A lot of companies, they don't value their workers, a lot of them anymore. Oh. You off, Rob? Okay, mate, no worries.
I was going to say I did 14 years for the idiot, and
all you got was grief.
What did I get? The sack.
The sack, yeah. I moaned that. No, I've got to admit, I've had some good bosses over the years. Yeah, I've had some right bastards, and obviously I didn't last long in the job because I'm the sort of one that will call them out and tell them they're a right bastard. But my last one at the hospital, the maintenance company, my boss there was absolutely brilliant. I had to leave because of me disabilities, shall I say. I'd had the bypass and a few other things, and I couldn't keep up the physical work. I said rather than let the company down and keep having time off, which actually costs the company now in sick pay, I said it's just easier if I quit. And he turned round and said, well, on top of what we owe you, he said, I'm going to give you 10 weeks money on top. The only way we could figure out to do it without paying tax on it was he had a draft drawn up, an agreement, like one of these confidentiality drafts, although I was never ever going to sue him for anything or anything like that. But it was the only way he could go through and give me the money tax-free. So I got the full 10 weeks money, and a very big thank you from him. He said, you were the one that always went above and beyond to get stuff down and turned up when nobody else would. All right, so take care, sweetheart. I'll catch up with you on Facebook at some point, I expect. But how are all you guys tonight anyway? Obviously, Stuart's birthday tomorrow. How many likes are you seeing? 3. I got 2.
I'm just doing a refresh.
Yeah, I could do that, couldn't I?
Don't worry.
And this is the thing with YouTube. They're
I'm on it. 20.
absolutely shite.
20 thumbs up and 34 watching. So come on, people.
Yeah. Come on, lurkers in the background there. At least hit the fucking like button. Oh, why am I still on that? What's going on here? You're just muddling along, are you, Stitch? Wee one. Hello. I knew you'd be in the background there somewhere. Good evening, Russell. How you doing, mate? Wee one's doing well, actually. She hasn't been put in Facebook jail for some time. Well, nor have you, Ollie?
That's better. We got 26 now, 35. That's a better ratio.
Chief lurker. I got to promote. Oh, yes, absolutely. You're the chief lurker. But you're one of the nice lurkers. Been de-stressing on the bike, taking advantage of the dry weather. We had one day of dry weather, and that was the day I got to cut the lawn. Entire town is only 5 minutes or so away on the bus. The town here is only about 5 minutes walk, Stuart. We're just outside the town centre, but in my condition now, it takes me about 20 minutes, half hour to walk up there sometimes. I mean, the hospital where I go for treatment and where I used to work, I mean, I'd cycle that in a few minutes and walk it in less than 15, and that sometimes can take me well over an hour to get there now. My fact checker suddenly died here. Grumpy Sapper, good evening, mate. Yeah, I've been trying my best. I mean, I've even shared posts that have got other people put in YouTube jail, but all I seem to get is the cover up, but oh, this doesn't meet this, so you've got to click through to watch what's on there. I mean, I did get a warning off YouTube the other day, actually. That funny one I put up with the music. It was blocked from I think it was 58 regions or countries or something because it could have a copyright claim. But as we know, that shit doesn't affect the channel. It's not a strike. So basically, I just ignore the fucking idiots. Yeah, possibly. Well, didn't you see the colour of the sky that went across there? I mean, it's brighter behind there now, but you're not happy with the hotel. Another one in the town sold out. Yep. Well, this is the thing, Stuart. The way they're going now, they're not giving 5-year contracts to landlords, hotels. Where they can, they're actually buying them up. Somebody put out a figure that they've put aside for it all of 750 million. Well, the information I've seen is nearer 800 million. So what they intend to do with that, obviously they don't intend to stop them anytime soon. But the fact that they're only going to be able to remove, I think it was 300, even if this Rwanda bill passes, it's not even going to scratch the surface. Nowhere near. You know, the day the flight goes out, more will be coming in that day. So probably a couple hundred more. Yeah, we've had a couple, Grumpy. Well, quite local to it. Well, I say local, Stafford. Apparently, they had a fucking tornado the other day. It turned some caravans over, ripped a couple of lampposts out.
Missed Holly.
Eh?
It missed Holly.
It's Mister.
The tornado missed
Oh,
Holly. Because she's Staffordshire, isn't she?
yeah, I can't remember. They did say exactly where it was, but
Did they? Because when I saw it, they weren't. All they said was
so it's
Staffordshire,
possible.
and I'm like, yeah, can't be Telford, can't be Shropshire, can't be Shrewsbury.
Shropshire, she's in.
I know she is.
Yeah, well, that's not Staffordshire, is it? I mean, we did have some very, very high winds here. We did have one night. Didn't I say one night it did sound like a bloody tornado going up the road for a couple of minutes? And the hail and Dubai got blitzed yesterday. As you see, everybody's going on about all this rain we're getting. Now, I never really looked into this fucking seeding shit that they're doing, the chemical spraying. But some of the pictures and videos I've seen, and with what's been detected in the air and in the water, in the rain coming down, to be more accurate, is absolutely pointing in that direction. And I said that in the video the other day. You know, something, oh, you're a bloody conspiracy theorist. I just, no, I'm just reporting on what I've seen and what I've found out. You know, anybody know if any London councils are buying up properties? They are trying. A lot of councils are trying to buy back a lot of the properties that they sold off in the big right to buy things. And they are trying to find out those that are in debt that want to sell, and they are trying to buy them back up. Yeah, Karen, this is what I mean. I've seen stuff that say they are. Obviously, other people are saying they ain't. But I do know that they have been seeding clouds to make it rain, not necessarily block the sun as a lot of people are saying. But they did seed the clouds with what was it? Aluminium, something that would force the clouds to release rain. To be honest, that didn't create clouds; that was seeding existing clouds. But when you see the lines crisscrossing the sky on a clear blue sky, and then within an hour they've turned into clouds, it's cloudy, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, no problems, Holly. No problems. Yeah, she's around that area, Stuart. But yeah, you know, there's got to be something in it. There definitely got to be something in it. I mean, usually when we've only got Birmingham Airport a few miles down the road. So obviously we do get quite a lot of air traffic coming across here. But when you look up and there's stuff already up there way too high because it's not coming from the ones coming up from there. Now, overseeding here in January, they used too little sodium, which caused ice.
Nice in Dubai.
But yeah, I saw that, Jen. They're supposed to be the Labour Welsh government, and they can't even spell in Welsh. That did make me laugh. I see you put it on Facebook. Single bloke moved into a house. Yeah, the councils will pay for it and they claim it back off the government, off the Home Office. But most of the hotels and properties that they've rented to put people in, most of them have got 5-year contracts. I mean, that tells you straight away from the start that they're not intending to stop it anytime soon. And it's always been obvious that the French are in on it and helping them come across. To be honest, round here there are a few hotels, but I've never seen any immigrants around them or even up in town, or no more than the ones that have been here for some time. You know, they're not the illegal immigrants; they're ones that have come over quite legally. But I do know some of the outlying areas of Birmingham. Yes, they're absolutely rammed with them, and especially up the Hagley Road. Apparently, they get a lot of problems with them up there. But obviously, around Birmingham, we've got a lot of Muslim-only areas anyway. So, you know, they could be sticking some in there. Obviously, the Muslims own a lot of properties, as we know. And we probably wouldn't even notice them. But we haven't got that many hotels around this area, as I said, not in our little area anyway. Oh, you're actually down in Kent, are you, Karen? Are you actually Irish? Obviously, the name and the flag denounce that you are. Oh, hello. What was that coming in? Boom, 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 boom. Hello. Sorry, people. Just having... Oh, it's... Thank you, Locutus. Just posting that on... Oh, bloody wind, man.
Is Locutus on here under another name?
Yeah, are you in here, Locutus? By the way, just give us a nod in... Just curious. Give us a nod in the chat if you are. I sent a video to you. Yep, got that, mate. Got that. I'll have a look at that later. Thank you. But you are, yeah. I thought you might be. But yeah, we haven't. Is there actually any hotels up in Sutton?
Sutton, you've got the Royal, as was townhouse now.
Yeah, but that's a pub, isn't it? And they're not going to have them in there.
It's also a hotel, and has been.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the Tons.
Yes,
3 Tons.
The Royal is a pub. It is a nightclub. It is a hotel. It is the Sutton Court Hotel, which was up the road on the traffic lights, closed pre-COVID. As did a couple down the Birmingham Road. The Westfield Court Hotel is probably the closest up Wild Green of a decent.
Yeah, but that's not in our direct area, is it?
But no, actually in Sutton, no, you've got travel lodges and things like White Horse Travel Lodge.
Is that the one, the tall guy, Stuart, that was at the protest giving the police shit, and they left him alone, but because people complained about him, they went after him afterwards? It doesn't matter where they are, not just the Met, Grumpy Supper. I mean, the police here in the West Midlands are in special measures. And it was quite funny to hear Sunak going on about Birmingham and the Midlands, West Midlands, about the Labour and that, taking the piss out of them in questions time today. I thought, what the fuck are you on about? You know nothing about what's going on here. Because we've got a Conservative mayor, but a Labour council. But they ballsed all the numbers up anyway. The numbers that they're putting out are so false. I mean, Sunak stood there again today and said, oh, the Met have got 21,000 new officers. But he forgot to mention that over 16,000 existing ones have already left. So basically all they've got is an extra 5,000 on the streets. And most of them are probably woke. And the other thing is, most of them aren't doing face-to-face interviews to get the fucking job. It's all done online. And they're processing them that quick just to try and get them in. That they can't be doing the proper checks on them. They just can't be. It's... Hang on, there's something missing. Oh, no, there it is. I was going to say there's normally a timestamp to say how long we've been on. I couldn't see it up in the corner. Yeah, that's the one. They're using that a lot, Stuart. Especially at Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. There was a guy they arrested. He got assaulted. Although the person that assaulted him was pointed out to the police, they arrested the guy who got beat, the victim. They let him go after a couple of hours using the bollocks that we arrested him for his own safety. Well, you don't actually arrest somebody for their own safety. Yes, you can pick them up, you take them away from the area, whatever, but you don't arrest them for that. Because straight away there, they've opened themselves up for a claim because they arrested him falsely. Now, if you look through, let's see if I can find it, actually. Where are we? Let's get that up. Right, now I won't be able to reply to any comments for a minute because I'm just going to share a screen with you all. Now this is... Oh yeah, I've got to press share, haven't I? That helps. Now that is from, if I remember rightly, 2020 to 21. That is actually how much several police forces paid out in compensation through that period. With the other forces involved as well, it come to over £80 million in compensation. Now, that was only for claims below £15,000, which there has been several of. Now, you think back 2021, yes, there was the pandemic arrests and shit like that, and there was a lot of compo paid out. But since then, the amount of people that have been getting falsely arrested and what have you, can you imagine what that figure is now? I mean, the Met back then, look, nearly 40 million. You know, in 2 years in fucking compensation. I was surprised Northern Ireland beat Manchester, but that just shows the level that we're paying, the taxpayers paying for all that, because that comes out the police budget and they claim it back through the government. So that just tells you how much they are paying out. Hello, what's Lost Soul's been up to? Because I couldn't see the comment. He's not looking. I can see the other comments though, Holly, on StreamYard. Yeah, I know, Stuart. And it's you see the way they're acting now over there. that's going to be double, treble, easy. Good evening, Michael. Is there anybody else there I haven't said hello to that's jumped in? I haven't seen anybody other than Michael. Busted. See, you don't have as much control on here as you do on Dan, see. But I don't need to see the chat because I know you guys, you and Mrs. W, will be there in the background anyway if anybody stepped out of line. God help them.
Anybody stepped out of line, it'd be me and Holly.
I was going to say it's more likely to be you two than anybody else.
We can be little rascals.
For those that are inquired, by the way, earlier on, Dan is back with his mum and dad. He went back today. He did apparently get a bit stressed out on the train because they were absolutely rammed. But he got there safely. He said he just put his headphones in and was just watching and listening to YouTube, take his mind off it. So he's got there fine. What part of Ireland do you hail from, Karen? If you want to say, you don't have to. I'm just interested, obviously, because I've got family over there. I found two more of my cousins on Facebook the other day as well. I haven't been in touch with them yet. Limerick, yeah, okay, you're a bit further down. Yeah, because my mum came from Sligo. I've got relatives in Dublin. I've got some in Belfast, and obviously some still in Sligo. And they keep in touch. And Sligo is absolutely overrun with immigrants. They've got a big problem with them. Well, so is most of Ireland, but from what I hear. Oh, I really have got wind tonight. That's that fry up. Mrs. W did me a lovely fry up for tea earlier on. Lots of lovely, greasy, fatty bacon and fried bread and eggs and sausages.
And I got my double yolk.
You got your double yolk, yeah, because I don't like the yolks.
Love them.
On fried eggs. I don't know why. I'm quite happy with the whites. But the only way I have the yolk of an egg is liquidized with half a pint of milk and a couple of spoons of sugar in it. And it's like an egg-flavoured milkshake. Obviously, the egg's raw. And it's a bit of a risk, but they're very, very high in protein.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like it. They don't like, but if you liquidize it rather than just whisk it, it breaks everything down, so you don't get all them slimy bits in it. Yeah, Dublin is terrible, Karen. I have heard one of the girls lives down there, one of my cousins, and she said you can't go anywhere. She said, unless you're with a crowd, you can't even go out at night. Good evening, Scott. Can't see what's typing. Everyone is okay. Yeah. Scott, Tina was trying to get hold of you on Dan's Sunday night. She's got a tablet for you, mate. She's got two. She's got one that's slightly bigger than the other, and she's holding on for the big one for you. So. Streets. I haven't actually got Tina's contact details here.
ENTC at Hotmail. No, at Outlook.com.
If Holly gets time, she's in.
Hang on.
She's Have you got the email?
Yes.
If you, what Mrs. W is doing, Scott, is she's going to put a link in the chat.
It's her email address.
It's
Scott.
her email address, and if you get in touch with her, there you go. That's her email address. Mrs. W's just posted. If you get in touch with Tina, she has got a tablet for you, and she will post it on to you once she's got your address and details, mate. Obviously, don't put it in here. Unfortunately, Scott, Dan won't be doing lives for a few weeks again. He only popped up this week because he's come back from London, but he's gone back down today, just in case, because you weren't in there Sunday.
We don't know how long.
We don't know how long because he's looking after his mum, who's had an emergency operation, and also his dad's not very well, so he's kind of caring for both of them at the moment. Which is, it does stress him out a bit, but as he says, it's family. Family's always got to come first. But he has got himself a laptop. It's a bit slow. That email address is wrong, Holly said. Have you got the proper one, Holly? If you can bang that in there for us.
That's what she said. I made a note of it because I need to email them.
There you go.
Well, she gave it out wrong the other night.
I knew Holly would have the contact for her.
She gave it out wrong the other night.
I've forgotten where I was now. I get this every time I get interrupted. I ain't got a fucking clue what I was talking about then.
Well, that obviously wasn't interesting.
Yeah, it's gone. Totally gone.
Dan not being around?
Oh, that was it. He will be putting out the odd video from down there, but it's slow going, literally because his mum and dad haven't got Wi-Fi. So he's got to use his little portable Wi-Fi expander, whatever. I don't understand it. Whatever it is
or
he
go
uses.
to an internet cafe.
But it's quite a good laptop he's got, wee one. It bloody ought to be at 1,700 quid. But, I mean, mine's a good one, but it is just so slow. Well, compared to this setup anyway. But that is a good one. It's one I bought for Heather a couple of years ago. Hers is a better one. The one she's got there, that's one that she had from her last job that they let her keep. And that's how we
fucking choice in the matter.
We keep in touch when we're away on holiday with the fishing and that. Because I take a laptop and a camera with me. So I can do videos when I get the time up there, or if the weather's bad, or if I want to put something out that's happened during the day while we've been fishing, I can do it. And they have got good Wi-Fi up there now, so. What is it? It means 10 minutes till I get home. Doobies. What? What's that all about?
I think he meant to put dobbies rather than hobbies.
Master buy Dobby sock for Christmas. Fucking hell. What was that? Oh, it's Harry Potter, wasn't it? The little troll guy or whatever he was. Yes, I am smoking
my cigarette.
A cigarette. I haven't had any tobacco for well over a week now. Heather's on her last packet of fags, and then she's stopping. So what we do to help her and to give me a little bit, I cut an inch off the end and put the tobacco in a roll up, and she smokes the rest of the tailor-made. I wasn't going to have one tonight while I was on there, but I just shaked my tin, shook, whatever, chucked my tin down there, and it rattled. I looked in there, and there was a little bit of one in there. So, obviously, the garden centre. Okay, fair enough. Scott was arrested after a day before being 20 hours in hospital, passed out in a cell. Yeah, they won't help, Scott. You can still get some £5 back. No, once this is gone, Stuart, that's it. I've got so close, but now and again, I just needed something to take the edge off. But this time, I'm absolutely determined. I've got to do it for my own good. No, I won't use patches, supplements, or vape things or anything like that, mate. I just bang, that's it. Like I did with the booze. I did give it up for about 3 or 4 years, but something happened in my personal life, and it drove me back to smoking again. But this time, cold turkey, yeah.
I've got a couple of vapes that I reach for occasionally, but
Evening, Jack.
They give me indigestion, so it's not going to be a long-term fix. It's just going to be a...
Yes, I will be putting the link up shortly, Jack. I just like to get an hour over, just chat to people, bring them up to speed on things. Tomorrow's video is going to be an interesting one. I won't say too much about that. Yeah, they won't, Scott. I mean, we know people have died in custody because they just can't be bothered, and we know some of them have died because of their actions in custody. Not as bad as in America. There was a particularly nasty one a little while back where they actually broke a guy's neck. And they just dragged him out of the van. They dragged him across the floor and just threw him in a cell with a broken neck. He has had a very, very big payout from them in the millions. Obviously, now he's totally fucked. He's paralysed and what have you. Good evening, Grumps. And there's been quite a few cases like that over there. That they are far more brutal than the police here. What did you think of the entire thing? What the live? Yeah, there was that little bit where I went off the handle, but I believe I was justified in doing what I did.
Good reason.
And many others agreed with me because I won't go into it too much.
It has been taken down.
But it has been edited out for the sake of the channel. It was an absolutely stupid move, claiming it was a joke. Sorry, but that was no joke. That was just bang out of fucking order. But other than that, it was a good stream. It got a bit lively in the chat at times, but Dan hadn't been around for quite a few weeks. So there was always going to be a few in there that have missed causing aggro, shall I say. But yeah, that's just the way it was. All right, at least YouTube haven't pratted about today. Yet. Right, let's pin that up there. Well, I know Jack will want to come up. If anybody else wants to jump in, feel free. If I know you, I may ask you to do something in the background. Yeah, I did go into one, Stuart. I did apologise to him in the private chat for what I called him, but I was never ever going to apologise for what I said.
Hello.
Why, mate?
How's it going?
It might have only have been a plastic one.
You said it was airsoft, didn't it?
Eh?
You said it was airsoft, didn't it? I think, but still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, the thing is, airsoft you've got to be licensed for anyway, mate.
Yeah, but it looks so real as well. That's the thing.
Oh,
Real.
it was a full size replica.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a full metal replica of it, a BB one, a proper air pistol, a CO2 one. All legally held.
Yeah.
But I would never ever show it on YouTube like that. I mean, he was right in one thing he said. There are videos out there of people shooting air rifles.
Yeah, but their videos are curtailed around that situation around them.
They're a specific genre of videos, and they're allowed. You know,
but it's like when you go from one topic to another, and it goes from talking about something that's a bit relaxed to weapons or violence or kind of just the depiction of violence in that situation. It's never going to be. I mean,
no.
People have, like you said on the live stream, people have had their live streams pulled out. What?
Whoa, sorry, Jack.
What?
Panda, how the fucking hell are you, mate?
Craig, click on the link. Click on the StreamYard link. There's if you got comments up. Come on and say hi.
If you've got a camera there, mate, click on the StreamYard link that's pinned at the top, and I'll bring you up on the panel. This is a very, very old mate of mine.
Very sexy, mate.
Down in Cornwall. Used to work the doors with us. He did me a very, very big favour one night. I mean, I trust the guy with my life, and he proved himself the day my dad died. I got absolutely fucking wankered, obviously. And he was the guy that looked after me. He's a lovely bloke. He's same as me and Dan. He's suffered strokes as well. His last one was quite bad, but luckily he's recovering really, really well.
Hopefully.
Touch wood.
Yeah. I mean, Dan's, again, is a lot worse than mine. His fatigue and the issues around it. All right, Scott, you look after yourself, mate. Don't forget, get in touch with Tina. She's got that tablet for you. All she needs is an address to send it to.
Just send her your address, Scott. Email her your address. And then if you get yours fixed, you've got two. You can pass one on to someone.
All right, Loafer.
Yeah.
It's yours. She's not going to give it to anybody else.
She's not going to give it to anybody else until she's heard from you. She has got a smaller one that she's given away. If anybody's got anybody to put forward, obviously get in touch with Tina, and they'll get something organised. You know, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, I will be honest. I mean, because there was a lot of things going on on Sunday. It wasn't just one thing; it was lots of different things. You got Joe and whoever else coming on, causing issues and stuff. And it wasn't even about Dan. It was completely unrelated to Dan. It was about someone else. But I'll be honest. For the time that Dan's been away from his channel because of the family emergency to do with his mom, right? I mean, for him to come back and for all that shit, pardon my French, to happen in the time that he from 8 to 1 o'clock, just gone 1 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't a good look. Not just for Dan, but it wasn't a good look for the channel. Do you get what I mean? Because the amount of shit that happened.
It does that though. It builds up and up and up if he doesn't come on. And Dan likes a good confrontation anyway.
Yeah,
as we know, especially when he's got a bit of the brandy in him.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always respect Dan because he says what is on his mind.
And he'll
And
stand by everything he says.
yeah, he'll all
He'll-
if he's at. I mean, obviously, I've not been part of the channel when he first started. So what was it, 2019 or something that he started? When he started doing live streams, I wasn't around. It was up until I think it was 2021 when I actually joined the channel. Or it was somewhat maybe late 2020 or something, around COVID, or sorry, at the end of that. But um, but we've always stuck by him, and I guess you could say the loyal subscribers are those that have been with him ever since.
Yeah, he did pick up quite a few, and back then, yeah, it was more because of the pandemic, lockdowns, people were
Yeah,
indoors. They were seeing videos on YouTube of what the police were doing. But from the last probably 3 years, it's literally because of his content.
yeah,
And he has opened up um, a lot of eyes to
hmm
what they're actually doing.
hmm
I mean, I knew it was going on, but obviously I didn't have my own channel back then. I only started my own channel because him and Holly and one or two others kept on at me. Well, look, start your own bloody channel up, mate. Have your say on things.
yeah,
I could have gone down the same route as he did with the police and that, but I thought, well, no, because there's a lot of people out there that I know, and they used to tell me that they don't watch the news, they don't read the papers, they don't watch TV.
yeah,
So they were relying on me to let them know what was happening. But I do now, I interject more of my own opinions on it. Yeah, I used to get a bit irate and go right into rants back then. And as you know, I got pulled down twice for alleged medical misinformation, even though it wasn't.
I hate that word. I hate that phrase. Medical misinformation. It's only misinformation if the information you're giving out is false. If it's accurate and it's true and it's
Yeah.
factual, it's not misinformation.
Well, the thing is, I know a lot of people up the hospital from when I worked up there.
Yeah.
So, I was getting a lot
Right,
of
Betty.
information from there. Yeah, Betty. You won't miss much, mate. Just me ranting on. And also back then, because I wasn't working, I had time to do a lot of research and look around.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, I found stuff out that nobody should have.
Yeah. I remembered you told us a lot back then about COVID. You had like
Yeah,
you still got now papers and stuff that you can't show.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
stuff like that, for
I got
example.
pulled down. But you look at it now, even Big Pharma themselves have come out and said
Mm.
what I was saying back then, and they've covered some of the information I've got now. Some of it I've had to ditch, as I said, because it very, very close to the limits, but
Yeah.
to the point where I actually destroyed one of the old laptops that it had it on.
Oh.
I did pass it on to one or two people, but as far as I know, they've never had the balls to use it. I can talk about it now. I mean, I can't show it because I haven't got the information anymore. So you have to
Yeah.
take my word for it.
Yeah.
But even back then, I knew exactly what was being done and how much it was damaging, and even how many people it was damaging, because I found somewhere that had the whole list.
Yeah.
And obviously back then it was a no to have
People still think that it's some deadly virus now. There are still people out there that think that.
that. A lot more people are wised up, mate. No,
Yeah.
yes,
I
the
mean, more.
boosters are still there.
Yeah.
They're still available, but there's only been, I think it was 5% uptake of the latest one. Mainly through people who are still scared, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously haven't had any reactions to it yet. But yes, Jenny, Pfizer have been sued for a lot of money, and that was actually by the American government, funny enough.
Wow.
They've been hauled over the coals. But what is worrying me now is companies like, who was the last one that released something that they're doing? AstraZeneca.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they all seem to be coming out with miraculous cures for everything. Now, you've got this alleged drug that's supposed to be trialing at the moment that they reckon can kill cancer. Now, if they can develop that inside 3 years,
Yeah.
with the amount of cancer out there now, we've got a pretty good idea why a lot of it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't it done before to treat cancer patients?
To be completely honest, I don't think if they ever found a cure for something like for cancer, they would never release it to the public because they would lose a hell of a lot of money, right?
Yeah. A
So
patient cured is a customer
do you know
lost.
all these different charities and stuff? Like for example, what's the main one? Cancer Research UK, for example, right?
Yeah.
That are doing research for cancer, right? And people are donating thousands and millions, and lots of money is being donated to these different charities. Now, there's probably people out there that actually have found somewhat cures or whatever, something to that degree, but they would never ever publish that information to the public or ever release it because not only would they lose a lot of money, and although it would benefit a lot of people, but their company would go bust, right?
Yeah.
Because although they're helping people out, they'd also lose
Oh, well.
they gain the money from all these different donations and stuff and from research and that. So they're earning, they're profiting off of our money, right? People that are donating, people that think, oh, it's for a good cause, this and that. They kind of tell you, oh, what you kind of get out of it. Well, I say get out of it, what you're supporting, showing appreciation and stuff for the different charities.
Well,
But in
you've only,
actuality, they don't care.
you've only got to look at places like the Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and the tribes that live there. Now, they've already investigated this. And in amongst those indigenous people, the ones that keep away from society, live off the jungle, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
there's no cancer there. None of them get cancer.
Yeah.
Because they reckon there is a natural cure in some of the plants or whatever they're doing there, that if they get sick or anything, the plant cures them. A lot of them say, oh, it's down to the shaman, the witch doctors, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it is. I think it's more likely to do with some of the herbs they're taking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows? Because they're not going to tell people.
No, they're not. They're not. And if they did, then it would a lot of people that had cancer, or for example, it would benefit because the amount of people that would live or live longer healthy lives if they had some form of cure, it would be astronomical. But the thing is, these different companies that are doing different research of cancers and stuff like that, they would never ever publish it. And for those that think that that's the case and think that, oh, if you wait maybe a few more months or a year or a few years, eventually it will never happen.
Well,
And
I can remember, this is going back quite a few years, and it was a doctor that told me this, funny enough. Good evening, Rippy. He said that basically everybody has got cancer genes in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's certain things that trigger it and activate it.
Yeah.
Now, my father died of sickle cell leukemia. Now, they attributed that more or less down to the sheep dip from when he was working on the farms, which I couldn't believe because He was the only one I ever saw that would actually disappear in the liquid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't just up to his waist in it. He'd be up to here sometimes. You'd see him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of believe that, but it's never been actually medically proved, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many different types of cancer out there.
Yes, yeah.
Now, what I've got, the polycythemia, there's another version of that called polycythemia vera,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I've got when the cells mutate into cancerous cells. Mine just mutate into fat cells, and that's why I have to take all the blood thinners and have blood taken out
Right,
of me
okay.
regular. But mine hasn't got to that level, and they don't think it will get to that level.
Thankfully.
It was a big worry, mate, because I was waiting when I had the initial test.
Yeah.
I had to wait for about 2 months before they told me. Now they said yes, it's polycythemia. So obviously, I went and researched what it was.
Yeah.
And all the indications pointed towards a type of blood cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I'm like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. That's great. On top of everything else I've got and the strokes, this is what I really need, you know? So when they did tell me that it wasn't that serious, it wasn't that type of the polycythemia, it was a big relief. And I will admit there was a few tears in my eyes of relief more than anything else. Because I always, the way I look at things, I always seem to think of the worst scenario, as it were. You know, I'm that sort of person.
You are a pessimist.
A pessimist, exactly.
I was just looking at the chat. This cancer talk is really spoiling the split.
Well, Bleach Demon, I'm well over 2 months clear of the devil's lettuce now, and it's a bit of a job sleeping at times, but I'm not really missing it. I mean, will put my hands up and say that now and again I do see somebody that does smoke it regular, and they do give me a little bit or give me one, you know.
I have always had a few questions about that, to be honest, because I've always been under the impression. Now I know that that can actually help someone.
Helps
say
a lot of people, mate.
Yeah, like
Helps
for
a lot.
example, CBD oil or stuff like that, or is
Yeah.
it THC or something like that?
Both.
Both. Okay, I know that
Yeah.
that, for example, can help help some people, especially if it's. I mean, my mum used to take it. Mum doesn't really take it a lot anymore, but my mum used to take it when her nerves were really bad, and it used to help her out a lot, even though she's on medication. But now I've always been under the impression, because my uncle smokes it. I used to smoke it a hell of a lot back in the day, but now he smokes it now and again, maybe once a week. I'm not sure specifically. I haven't spoken to him in a little while, but I mean, whenever I'm around him, I notice as well he can get quite agitated, and I've always wondered if maybe smoking that can contribute to someone's agitation, frustration, maybe stress.
No,
or the opposite.
It's the opposite. It does the opposite.
So it can't. Does it relax you, calm you?
Yeah.
I used to get, and I will admit, I used to get real nasty at times when I got niggly.
Right.
I would fire off, but it used to keep me calm.
Right.
You know, smoking normal ciggies did the same. At the moment, I'm absolutely cool with giving them up. But it's
good that you've done that, by the way.
Eh?
It's good that you've done that, by the way.
I've got to do it for my own good, mate. For my health.
It's good. I wish my dad could give up smoking. Honestly, I wish.
Not yet, Jack.
Well, this is another thing I was going to talk about today, because it was actually brought up in the house. It's something I've been talking about before on the videos. This banning the smoking by age.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Now, that Sunak is saying it was his idea right from the start. Well, it wasn't. It was Shergar. It was the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She brought that up. Jacinda Ardern.
So are they planning on banning smoking then for people under the age, under the
No,
age of
what they're doing is they're trying to bring in what Ardern did in New Zealand. And by the way, it's already been repealed in New
Right.
Zealand. The new government has thrown it out.
Right.
Anybody born on or after 2009 will never, ever be allowed to buy cigarettes or tobacco. And then each year, that date changes. So the next lot, the next age group, will never, ever be allowed to smoke.
So how is that going to work then? So wait, so if you 2009, I'm trying to think.
There's MPs that are already saying no to it.
Sunak's own
It
party
don't even
is
make
saying no.
sense.
No.
So
Well, it's a progressive ban.
right.
What it does is people, say, in their 40s or my age, that smoke,
Mm-hmm.
will carry on smoking. We will never, it will never get to that limit where they can ban us from smoking.
Right.
What they're trying to do is stop the younger generations taking it up.
Right.
So they'll drop or bring that age group forward a year every year. Now, most of his own MPs are against it, simply because he's saying, oh, but it's a lifestyle choice. But it's not exactly, high box control.
Yeah.
He wants to control it. Now, my biggest issue with it is, okay, we know there's dangers with smoking. It doesn't always cause cancer. It can cause lung infections and shit like that and bugger your breathing.
It's the stuff on the packets that are that can be quite misleading.
Well, they're not misleading, but they're not worded correctly.
No, they make it look like you are guaranteed to get something like that if you smoke, right?
Well,
My dad's been smoking for years and he hasn't got anything like that. But
by doing that, you're taking somebody's personal choice away.
yeah, that's true.
So, and also they control with it, as Highbox rightly said there.
The more they control, the better. They control
But
our funds and everything else.
think about how much tax tobacco and cigarettes puts into the government coffers.
Probably not a lot.
It's
Loads.
astronomical.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's astronomical. Now, this is what I've always said. These people that wanted smoking banned,
Yeah.
that non-smokers that have never smoked, people don't realise it will affect them,
Right.
a ban. Because obviously that big deficit in the tax has got to be made up from elsewhere, because it's run into the millions and millions, the tax on tobacco.
Jack,
Yeah.
I can get a packet of duty-free cigarettes for about £6. I cannot buy over the counter a packet of cigarettes for 12. So that's the amount of tax on a packet of of cigarettes. It's about £7 a packet. So your average smoker on, I don't know, 10, 20 a day, it's £7 every day.
Every time you buy a packet of fags, you're paying £6 to £7 extra in taxes.
Wow. And when you say duty free, what does that mean?
Well, if you buy them abroad or on the ferry or whatever, because they're not taxed over there as heavy as they are here,
Right.
you get them cheaper.
Ah.
You don't
And that's why people smuggle like tobacco and stuff back over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, people are going to smoke no matter what they do. They could ban it completely, but people will still smoke.
I think they could do reducing vapes for younger teenagers and stuff as well.
So all they're doing is creating crime, because there will be smugglers smuggling it in. There is now.
Yeah.
We know that. But the dangerous part of it is these people that are making counterfeit cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of them contain far more nasty chemicals than the genuine stuff.
Yeah.
Rolling tobacco is probably the worst one, because literally what they do in the counterfeit tobacco, well, it is actually tobacco, but what they do is they'll take what they call the sweepings, all the bits that are fallen off of it during the processing.
Yeah.
They sweep up, package it. Now that can contain stuff off the floor, fluff, bits of chippings, wood, all sorts.
Right.
Yes, they're dirt cheap. You can go and buy a whole ream for less than 40
Yeah, but the
quid.
risks outweigh the benefits, you could say.
It's
But
a
then
big
again, I
risk.
wouldn't say smoking at all is a benefit. It's a risk, in my opinion. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
smoke,
but,
so I don't have to worry.
I mean, I used to get people saying, "Oh, yeah, you shouldn't smoke. I've never smoked this, that, and the other." I said, "Well, fine, that's your choice." It's again personal choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice you make. I've been smoking since I was 12, I think.
Yeah, me about the same.
But 12, 13.
Yeah.
I used to smoke at school. They couldn't stop me because my mother wrote a letter to the school telling them that she was supplying me with the cigarettes and I had her permission to smoke. And back then, there was no age limit.
Yeah. So our times change.
But they
Not
used
for
to
the
make
wrong
me
reasons, though.
They used to make me stand outside the staff room at dinner time. I mean, I'd clang a 5 just to annoy them. I didn't want 5; I only wanted 1. But just to annoy them, I'd be stood outside the window of the staff room. Yeah, fuck you. And I'd stand there smoking until the bell went. And the first thing I'd done when I come out of school at the end of the day, even walking down the drive from the school, I'd have one lit up as soon as I got outside the building. And they couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as you say, times change.
The lots of different sectors are bad now. Lots of different education system. More people. Let me just say this bit and say however. More people are homeschooling their children now because they do not trust the education system.
Well, this is the thing Beardy's put there. Look. Now, his idea was banning smoking is going to save the NHS because it overwhelms the NHS. Well, it doesn't. Far from it. But you look at that, 10.4 billion in tax revenue from tobacco last year. But to treat diseases connected with tobacco, the NHS only spent 2.4. So that's
the amount of profit from
8 billion the government have got.
Yeah.
Last year off a tobacco tax alone, effectively.
Yeah.
Tobacco tax, if it all went to the NHS, would pay for everybody else's.
Yeah. The taxes that come from tobacco could actually fund the NHS.
But yeah, it's going to the government because they're slimy bastards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Scar. That's what I've always said. You look how many of them fat cats in Westminster smoke cigars. They can't have their brandy or port without a cigar. And theirs are subsidised.
I've heard ludicrous things. Now, I don't really care if it's true or not because it doesn't stop me from eating it. But I've heard ludicrous things like eating pork is just as bad for your health as smoking.
No.
Sounds stupid.
No.
But it sounds stupid, I know. And the thing is, I don't believe it. But you get some really weird people, and I can understand that eating things like pork or whatever else, just like anything that you eat, there is always a risk, especially with meats
other
and
than
stuff
choking
like
on it. There's not a lot of risk.
Yeah, but a lot of foods, people say that a lot of foods, especially meats and stuff like that, you can get cancer and stuff. I don't believe that.
Do you know what the issue is, Jack?
Yeah.
Where it's processed.
Yeah.
It's what they do. It's the amount of liquid they pump into
the chemicals and stuff they put in it.
Liquids.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's the chemicals they put on the ground.
Oh yeah, because obviously, yeah, the animals eat it as well. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
you take the fishing industry.
yeah.
Now, some trawlers go right out into the Atlantic, right up into the North Sea.
Yeah.
Now, they regularly test the fish that they catch,
Yeah.
and just about all of them have got chemicals in them now from the seawater.
Mercury's a big one.
Mercury, plastics, microplastics.
Yeah. That's not. That's
They
not
say
good.
you should
for
only
your
eat
system.
salmon once a week because of the mercury in it.
Yep. You know,
Wow.
it's. I mean, I don't knock vegans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, it's a lifestyle choice. It's their choice.
It is.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Look,
I don't like having it rammed in my face.
I agree. Same.
But as I point out to them when they start giving it all the big un, I said, think about what you're saying about us meat eaters.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to do away with cows. They're killing the planet. Okay, so you do away with cows. How the fuck are you going to fertilize the vegetarian shit that you eat?
It's true.
You
A lot of
water.
things. Yeah.
Plants won't grow without water.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the chemicals that are in the water. That's way beyond our control. It's in the water now, and we ain't never going to be able to get rid of it. So if they're saying we're getting chemicals in us through eating meat, they're getting just the same chemicals by eating rabbit food.
And there's things as well that they do that, because a lot, the thing that pisses me off of vegans is, you know, they try and use our things, or our things against us, the meat eaters, right? But then
Yeah.
when you use the things against them, so like grass and lots of other things that they might eat, right? For example, a year, loads and loads, I don't know exactly, but loads and loads of bees, for example, are killed to to go or to contribute towards their eating in the vegan kind of area. I don't know what it is, but
But
for
they
example,
pollinate the plants.
yeah, they kill lots and lots of bees every year, right? For their benefit, right? And then they complain, and I would say that bees are quite an important.
They're a very important
Yeah,
part of the
because it's
ecosystem.
not just honey as well. Wax is another thing as well that you
Mhm.
can get from it. I mean, there's probably lots of other things you can get, but just
Raw
from the
jelly.
bees alone. But when they're saying, "Oh, well, you know, is killing animals, you know,
Well,
is even
here's a
worse."
bit of knowledge for you.
Yeah.
Another use for honey.
Okay.
Would you believe it can actually be an antiseptic?
I was just
No,
about
to be honest, I never thought that.
It can actually be an antiseptic.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I told you, mate, I've got a head full of useless information that I've never ever used, and half of it just doesn't come to the front
Yeah.
until something triggers the memory. But yeah, honey can be used as an antiseptic.
Yeah. And you know, I never knew that, right? And that's the thing, is that I will listen to what people have to say, right? And then I'll do my own research afterwards, right? But one thing that, I mean, it's like, yeah, yeah. One thing as well
There you
that
go.
one thing that happened a while back on Dan's live streams that peed me off. I don't want to go into details, but it's like the whole, you know, kind of like the Bible against or Christians or theists against atheists, right? For example, although they're two completely different groups, right? If you're, it's all right speaking about it, but when you're shoving it down people's throats, especially when they don't want to
Exactly.
hear it, there's a difference between having a conversation, but when they're preaching is the word. When they're preaching, then they're trying to make you believe this when you don't want to, or there's not enough evidence,
Well,
whatever. Right? I do the same thing with vegans. Right? I like eating meat. Right? I don't. I could never in my life go down the path of only eating vegan-based foods.
No.
I couldn't.
Well, if you go, who is it? Can't remember which country it was now. It
Avocado
might
growing
be
alone as time
Italy.
shiveries. Because one
They've
avocado tree
actually
needs to
banned lab-grown meat.
which sounds bad in itself because it's probably full of lots of chemicals.
Well,
Which
it's made from chemicals.
yeah, which is very bad for you.
Yeah.
So,
But there are a lot of things out there that are medically beneficial that people don't know about. But you going back to I mean, I don't talk about religion on here as a rule.
yeah, no, I
because
didn't want to
I'm not
speak. I
into
didn't
it,
want to
but-
overly go into detail. But
No, these religions like Islam and that, I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're just way out there. But
Yeah,
I'll
no.
stick with our standard two, the Roman Catholic, Christian faith.
yeah.
Now, everybody's heard of them.
Yeah.
Most people have heard of the Bible. At
Mhm.
schools years ago, we used to have to read them. You go to, well, it used to be, I don't know whether it's still the same, but you used to go to a hotel and in the bedside table, there'd always be a Bible.
Yeah,
Gideon.
I heard of that.
The Gideon's Bible, usually, yeah.
New Testament.
Most families back then, if there was religious people in the family, they had what they call the family Bible,
Got to upstairs.
Yeah.
where the whole family had their names in there. You know, they were signed inside the leaves, the cover, whatever. Now, religion is fine, those two. Yes, both of them are bad. Both of them make an awful lot of money, a lot more than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
But if people want it, they'll go
Yeah.
and find it. They don't need it rammed down their throats.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I found atheism. Albeit when I became when I fully became it, I
I
just
never
searched for
believed
it. Yeah, but the thing is, right? As long look, like I said, like you got carnivores, or basically the things that
Yeah.
just fully eat meat or whatever. If you want to eat meat fully, that's fine. If you want to eat vegetables or solely vegan based diets instead, that's also fine. You can give your opinions on it, but if you're trying to change someone or trying to killing is bad, this is bad, that's bad, but actually, and I saw a lot of videos as well, there was a hunt, I don't know, it was like a video on YouTube. It's a series called Agree to Disagree, and there's like a pint glass on the table, and they have to go based on strongly agree, disagree, etc. Right? And there was a hunter, a female hunter versus a vegan. Right now, the hunter goes out to kill any, I think it's deer or whatever. Not because she wants to, but because if she didn't, the population would be overrun, and
Exactly.
and the actual wildlife in that particular area would go away or die because of that.
There's two big ones that went on. One of them was in this country, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that idiot, what was his name? Steve. He banned or tried to ban shooting pigeons.
Okay.
Now, and I think they did bring it in for a while, if I remember
They are
right.
vermin, though, I've got to be honest. But
and then, as the farmers pointed out to him,
yeah,
look, we're losing whole fields of crops to pigeons because you fucking idiot, won't let us shoot them.
Yeah.
Now, in America, they've got a bigger problem.
Right.
With wild boar.
Yeah.
Now, wild boar will destroy not just crops, they will destroy everything around them.
Yeah.
Now, they stopped what they called the free hunting over there, where they were classed as a nuisance. You could shoot them whenever you fucking saw one. And now you had to have a special license to shoot them.
Yeah.
And because the population explodes all the time, I mean, they're like rabbits, wild boar.
Yeah.
They're just destroying everything. I mean, if you look on YouTube, there's boar hunts on there. They actually fly after the boar with helicopters. They'll
Yeah.
chase them across the land and across the prairies with jeeps with people in the back shooting them from the back on the move. That's how bad it's got. So yeah, you've got to keep certain animals under control. The deer hunting over here, literally, it is by special license only,
Yeah, yeah.
and that is literally, as you say, to keep the population down.
Now, the vegan didn't agree with it. The vegan said that it's immoral and all these different words, but she gave a very, very, very detailed explanation as to why she did it. And also she said as well, if I'm gonna have meat, because she didn't agree with going to a supermarket and seeing this pre-packaged meat, right, that had no value to her. Like, whereas when she went out to hunt, say a deer, for example, right? Because she did it not just because, well, she did it because she wanted to, and also she did it to help out the wildlife, right? So it was a two-for. She did it for two reasons: naked and afraid. Yeah.
Yeah, because they can't feed themselves in the wild on what they normally eat.
No, and this is the thing: vegans always seem to point the fingers at meat eaters, right? But a lot of the thing, because the thing is, right, a lot of people seem to think that that yes, killing animals is bad, right? A lot of people could say it's immoral, right? I don't necessarily disagree with that, because in a way it is immoral, but we have to survive. And if we
Depends how it's
survived,
done.
yeah, yeah. If we survived on vegan, I mean, people do, but you're not going to get all those nutrients. Whereas with meat, when like for example a cow, when they eat the ground, although chemicals can be on the ground, like you said earlier, a lot of the nutrients that are in the ground, the animals eat. So so the nutrients are going into the meat, right? So we're not just getting we're getting the nutrients from what the animals eaten, as well as eating their meat, which vegans don't get that. They have to substitute it.
Yeah, but
Because
you look in the news, even mainstream.
yeah,
How many times have you seen these vegans creating merry fuck outside of McDonald's or something like that? Do you ever see meat eaters stood outside a vegan restaurant or a vegetarian only restaurant protesting or complaining? No.
no,
You know, if I've never seen them up here, but if they had a group of them up here, now I hate Mackie D's.
right,
Now, if there was a group of them up there protesting outside there or outside Greg's or something like that, I would go in and I would buy something and I would stand in front of them and fucking eat it
yeah,
just to piss
yeah.
them
A lot
off.
of people do. A lot of people do that.
You know, I'm that
I
sort
think
of person.
the one thing that pisses me off the most, though, Roger, is when they stand outside of like you just said, of a well-known place that does not just vegan products but also meat products, right? And they will stand outside with the do you know the anonymous hacker face, the anonymous hacker masks? They'll stand outside and they'll cover their identity so you can't see what they look like, and they'll hold TVs and they'll show you animals being killed, like pigs, or whatever else, right?
That's just
Now,
shaming. That's just shaming.
yeah.
That is.
Now, what they're trying to do is, well, I mean, it's obvious. They're trying to steer you away to becoming a vegan, right? But the thing is, that don't work with me, right? It don't bother me as long as, I mean, I'm particularly not bothered going to a supermarket and buying a pack of bacon and it's laid out in front of me like that, right? I'm not particularly bothered. I don't particularly bother going to a butcher's or anything like that. But the thing is, I mean, I wouldn't go out there myself and kill an animal. That's something I wouldn't do. But a lot of the things that vegans do say, which annoy me, and I don't believe it, is that they actually say that by you buying the product from the supermarket, you are contributing or you are supporting animal abuse. I don't believe that. Although I can see where they're coming from, I don't believe it.
Well,
I'm not going out there myself to kill an animal.
I come from a farming community, so killing an animal was second nature.
Yeah.
But I can
right,
honestly say, except for
right, Hala.
rodents and pests, I have never killed an animal for the sake of killing it.
Yeah.
It's either been for the table or it's to stop its suffering.
Yeah. Which I would say is reasonable.
You know, it's. I mean, we were down the River Camel down in Cornwall where we used to do the crabbing for the peeler crabs for fishing bait. We had a bit of a business doing them, collecting them and selling them.
Yeah.
Now, there's steep rocks that went down to the beach, and there was a sheep field up the top. And we went down there one morning, and there was a sheep laid down in the rocks. It had obviously fallen off the top, got over the fence.
Was it hurt?
It broke its back.
Wow.
It was still alive. And there was maggots in the wound and shit like that. It couldn't move. So we phoned the local farmer because we used to cross his land to get down to where the traps were. So we knew him anyway. And I said, well, look, this one's down there. Do you want anything done with it? Do you want it brought back? Do you want to come and recover it? Whatever. He said, well, to be honest, he said, if you can do it, he said, dispatch it.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
He said, put it out of its misery and just let the tide take it out. The crabs will do their thing. It will get broken down naturally. And I said, okay, yeah, we'll dispatch it and get rid of it for you. But what we actually did was, we dispatched it and my mate butchered it. We got a freezer full of meat out of it. So it didn't go to waste. It didn't just get chucked in.
Yeah.
If he hadn't have been there, we would have probably just dispatched it and pushed it into the outgoing tide.
Yeah.
It would have got used up. It would have been consumed by other wildlife, obviously. But, when you're in a situation like that, a lot of people couldn't do that.
If you're in a life death situation, right? Because I think you mentioned it a while back, and there was a lot. And you used to talk. I think on live streams in the past, you used to talk about these different programs on like Channel 4 or whatever, right? About life or death situations, like when you're in the wild and you've got to survive. You've got to use your instincts and stuff like that, right? Yeah. A vegan would not. A vegan, 99% of the time, would not survive in the wild with just plant-based stuff.
I mean,
right?
With the amount of stuff you can find in the wild, you got to remember that a lot of it is not like normal grown crops.
Is life little, but you're right, Rob.
I mean, you think in this country what people would think of eating squirrel.
And I've never tried it, but I mean, it doesn't.
In America, down south, and that it's common.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's the latest trend in some restaurants in this country.
Oh, yeah, you can eat because squirrels are classed as the grey squirrel is classed as vermin.
I don't remember the last time I've been to a restaurant, to be honest. It was certainly when I was younger. I've not been to a restaurant in ages.
Yes, you do, Holly. And not only have you got to be an expert, you've got to be very, very careful.
Which is why I said 99%, not 100%, because if I said it was impossible, I would be making a massive claim. It probably is possible, but it's a very, very low chance of being able to do that.
People that don't have knowledge are more likely to kill themselves because of what they eat and not because of not eating.
But not only have you got to know what you're looking for, you've got to be in an area where you can find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Around here, there is no way, apart from the allotments, there is no way I can find vegetables growing in a field. No way. Because there are no farmers round here that grow veg. But I can find a rabbit.
Yeah.
I can find a squirrel. I can find a fish. But I couldn't find a potato.
It sounds silly, but a good example as to the whole survival thing is Castaway, for example, where he obviously is a FedEx driver or delivery person or whatever, and they go across they go in the plane.
Tom Hanks,
and they crash land. I think it was due to the storm or winds or whatever. And he's on that island. I don't know how many years. He's on that island for many years, and he has to survive. And he uses his surroundings to his advantage, right? He uses packages that even crash landed, like the one of the ice, do you know, the ice skate things. He used
Yeah.
that to actually break open the coconuts to drink
Yeah.
them, for example. So he used a lot of things to his surroundings because he had access to them. Now, for someone that's probably more experienced, like these programs that you mentioned a while back, that probably do this all the time, that know what they're doing, they could probably use things that you wouldn't expect to use around you in the wildlife, but they could use that to their advantage.
You can eat rat as long as you clean it properly.
But
Didn't know that. Didn't know
Jack, where's your nearest coconut?
that. I don't really want that.
Find the coconut.
I don't know.
Mushrooms. If you know
Definitely not in this country. Not that I know of.
Well, here's a little trick for you.
Okay.
You want to save yourself some money in the cost of living crisis. When you see a farmer harvesting his crops, whether it be potatoes, carrots, turnips, whatever,
Yeah.
as soon as they've finished and they walk away from that field, if there's any in that field left that they've missed, there's always a few spuds in the ground still that they've missed, you can legally walk in there and take that.
Wow. Yeah, would that not be trespassing though?
Nope. You can legally walk in and scrounge in the field only after they've completed their harvest for anything that's left.
So would it be trespassing before?
Nope.
No.
It's not about trespassing. It's theft. It's theft of produce. But once they've harvested, they accept a certain amount of loss. So they leave it behind, and anybody can walk into that field then and
pick it up.
But not be, if you. It's like going scrumping before the crop's being harvested. It's a crime to pick those apples. But once the farmer's done his harvesting, you can go and pick up windfalls and things, not a problem.
I didn't even know that.
There you go, see?
I guess you learn something new every day. We're
Well,
always learning.
These are the things that I've learned, doing survival courses, bushcrafting and stuff like that. I mean, to me, if you're near a river, the biggest form of carbohydrates is the roots from bulrushes. They are a very good source of carbohydrates. Certain tree roots you can eat.
I know you've got three different. I know you've got carbs, you've got fat, and then you've got protein. I know obviously protein's good. Obviously protein's good for you. I mean, one thing I've never really understood carbs. Like, do you need a lot of it, or?
Yes.
You do need a bit more than obviously what you get in processed foods, but
your carbs are the sugars that your body processes quickly. So your breads, your pastas,
it's energy.
It converts very quickly into sugar, which the body can use and convert into energy very quickly, which is why they will advise a low carb diet if you're trying to lose weight, because when you eat too much of carbs and you don't use them all, then that's when the body stores them as fat. I like carbs. I mean,
carbs. It's good to know, because I've never really understood carbs. I've always thought it as something, although you do need, I mean, especially when you want to lose weight and stuff, I've never really understood, like, do you need a lot of it? Do you need a little bit of it, kind of thing?
It depends what you're doing, because you look at sprinters and things like that,
high
performance athletes, and they will eat a lot of carbs, a bowl of pasta.
Yeah, because they're using all that energy up.
Because they need that.
Yeah,
that sugar that they
they're
need
burning
that energy.
they're burning that fat and stuff like that.
They don't know. They don't want fat. Fat is slow to break down.
Right.
What they need is carbohydrates that easily converts to sugar and therefore
Yeah, but
energy.
Holly's put there are good fats, which they are. Your body does need a certain amount of fat. Now, the thing with foraging, what you call survival foods, is one, you've got to know which is safe and what stuff you can eat and what you can't.
Yeah.
But some of it takes a bit of preparation and conditioning before it's edible or safe. Now, believe it or not, you can eat acorns.
Really?
In a certain situation, but it will take you probably 3-4 days to process those acorns because they can be poisonous. Acorns are poisonous if you eat them raw, but you can process them into what's called acorn leather. It's like a chewy type slab.
Yeah.
But you've got to wash and process them again and again and again to leach out the dangerous toxins in them. Now, if you don't get them to the right level, they'll kill you. At very least, they'll make you very, very ill. On survival courses, they tell you not to even try. Because if you don't do it right, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Most of them will have an expert somewhere near that where you can go and get advice. Same with eating fungus and mushrooms. You know, they recommend when you're on them, unless you absolutely know what you're doing, you should never just pick up something like that and cook it and eat it. Because you could end up fucking killing yourself. And this is where a lot of people come unstuck. You've got to know not only what foods you're eating in the wild, you've got to know how to prepare them safely.
Well, something I was just reading through chat, and I was just people talking about butter and stuff like that. Something like spreads of butter, like clover or utterly butterly or whatever else.
Plastic, mate.
Right. So not good for you then. Clearly. No.
Even what's called real butter has got a certain amount of chemicals in it because it wouldn't last as long. But it's better for you than the plastic false stuff. Far better.
See, the thing is, I mean, to be honest, because I've been doing it since around about end of last December, but I've been trying to lose weight, right? Because, well, I want to make myself, I guess, feel better in myself, and also, I want to actually kind of, I don't, because
can I just stop you there a minute, Jack? Karen, yes, I will accept that in a bit, sweetheart. I haven't got Facebook open at the moment. I try not to have too much distraction in front of me because I start to get confused. But I will go back and answer that as soon as I finish the stream. Sorry, Jack. Carry on.
No worries, son. It's okay. So where was I?
It's just when I'm streaming, all I have open is Discord, obviously YouTube and StreamYard, but I still get alerts from Facebook. So if someone sends me a personal message or a friend's request, it'll tell me, even though I can't accept it at the time.
Yeah, no.
But I just like to let people know that I've got it, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I remember now. So it's like ever since, I'd say for at least over a month now, I don't remember the last time I had one slice of bread and add toast. Right. I don't remember because I usually put butter on it. Right. But considering how much butter, I mean, bearing in mind, I didn't actually use a lot of butter, although theoretically, based on what because I actually have an app which tells me how much, like calories, fats, all the different things that it can tell you, right? Seeing how much fat was in just the amount of what I was using for.
Well, believe it or not, this is where a lot of people go wrong.
Right.
Now, yes, there are lists out there of what foods contain what fats, what proteins, what carbs. But what people don't take into account is everybody is different and they need different levels and amounts of it.
Right.
Some people's bodies will burn up fat quicker, maybe because they're on the go all the time. There are people that can burn up fat quite quickly, even just sat down. Their bodies just work that way.
Depends on the metabolism, doesn't it?
Yeah. And this is the thing with these set diets.
Yeah.
That I don't like. Everybody's body's different. Everybody needs a different level of certain things. So how can you set a precedent and say, well, if everybody ate this amount of protein, this amount of sugar, this amount of fat, you'd be absolutely healthy? You wouldn't. There'd be many people that would lose out through that.
Well, to be honest, the app I use, it tells me how much.
Exactly, Holly.
I can choose it. I can use it. I can choose different options. Whether if I want a high fat, a low fat diet, high protein, low carbs, I can choose all these different options, right? But I'm more because I'm not very active, right? But mainly because I'm always at home looking after my mum, right? I would like to be.
Sorry, Jack. I am. Somebody's just. Something came up on there.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it on here. Oh, there it is. Good evening, Brian. Sorry, Jack. I've been concentrating on chatting, not watching the chat.
It's okay.
Brian's dropped in. Good evening, mate. Paul or the lads, whoever it is, Pierce and I, welcome.
Yeah, there's no worries.
Karen, don't apologise, sweetheart. It's only because I don't have it open during the stream. I did get the alert, and as soon as the stream's finished, I will go and accept that request. Not a problem. Sorry, Jack.
No, it's okay.
This is what I mean. I get
no, it's all right. It's fine.
And distracted.
That's what you do. Exactly the same thing as Dan. Whenever he needs to say something, he'll stop everyone talking and he'll say what he needs to say before he goes away. People fall into account ingredients instead. Eat clean.
And I've known people that have been ill through doing that. They're supposed to be following a healthy diet, and they've made themselves ill because their body needs something different than that diet's giving them.
See, the thing that, because obviously I do have a couple of family members that have actually that actually go to the gym every day. So 6 days a week they go religiously, right? I use that word because well, that is effectively what they do. The only day that they have off is Monday, but every other day they will go to.
You don't need that.
No, I know.
It depends what you're doing. I mean,
I'm not as active as I'd like to be.
If you just want to keep fit, little and often.
Yeah.
But a lot of people now, I mean, you've got to look at some of the lads out there. You know, why? You know, you're not weightlifters. You're not in a competition. Why do you need to look like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, the thing is as well is, I mean, at least how I see it, a lot of the people that go to the gym and that aren't doing anything that requires them to get more that have. I mean, it's nice to have muscle. Well, it's good to have muscles, but when you're completely muscle, so you haven't got a lot of fat. You've got more muscle than fat. When you've got more muscle than fat, and to me, it's showing off. In my opinion, I mean that's how it seems. It's showing off, right? Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with going to the gym or whatever. You know, I mean, if I could be more active, I would, but I certainly wouldn't be going on runs or anything like that because my stamina is just not as great as what it used to be. Like at school, because I used to do PE all the time. I mean, going through school, we used to do PE a lot, right? But obviously now that I'm stuck at home all the time, pretty much, apart from the odd time of going out to the shops every now and again, maybe once or twice a week, you know, I'm not as active as I'd like to be, but it's not necessarily through choice. It's more because someone needs to look after my mum all the time, or someone needs to watch her all the time. It's easier to say,
Oh,
you
that's the
know, I
wrong one. I
can.
was trying to...
You see me running, see
That,
me,
that one, see,
chasing me.
now,
Yeah,
Grumps, remember what Grumps said?
yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
are literally things you can do
yeah,
in your everyday life to keep yourself fit.
yeah.
You know, just doing housework. It just depends how you do it.
Well, to be completely honest with you, I tried it, right? But I didn't warm up first. And my legs
There you
suffered
go.
for 3 or 4 days, right? My legs were so achy, right? When I used to get up in the morning, right? Honestly, I felt like I was gonna fall over because I did not warm up first, which was my mistake. Um, I mean, there's only obviously there is things I can try, but one thing that my dad I need to keep reminding dad, but one thing that I can do, one thing I have wanted to ask my dad, because we have a treadmill in our conservatory that we haven't used for a while, right? It was originally for my mum, but she can't use it at the minute, and also plus there's not a lot of room now, but dad was going to bring it into the living room so we could set it up more frequently, and I could utilize it so I could be active while I was at home instead of having to, go out places. Because really, the only time I'm ever properly active is if I'm going down to my grandma's and granddad's with my mum and my brother, for
Well,
example. That's the only
as
time.
Grumps was saying the other day, as you know, in
Hmm.
VC.
Hmm.
Now, Heather will tell you, when I was working up the hospital,
Yeah.
I was a good shape and I had a good body and I was quite fit.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. But you got to remember that I'm walking all day. So my legs were absolutely solid. There was a lot of lifting involved. So when I was lifting stuff, I was doing it in a way where I was giving the muscles a workout.
Hmm.
I didn't need to go to the gym. Likewise, funny enough, working on a fishing boat. Now that can be quite physical. So I didn't need to go to the gym. Building
Yeah.
work, builder's labourer. But once I'd started doing the door work and less of some of the other jobs, yes, I used to go to the gym maybe twice a week for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to pump or lift as much bloody weight as I could.
Yeah.
It was just literally to keep things at a level. You know, I didn't want to build the big muscles up. I didn't want to look like what some people call a grotesque.
Yeah.
It was literally just to keep it a level. But now I can't do any of it. I can't walk very far. I wouldn't last 5 minutes in a fucking gym.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got a set of the old dumbbells, hand weights
Yeah. Yeah.
upstairs. I could use them, but I don't need to. Why? You know, I don't
Yeah.
drink beer. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink beer anymore, which is a terrible thing for putting on weight.
Yeah.
Um,
See, the one thing about me is I only drink alcohol and only and because I'm a lightweight to say the least, so I don't drink all the crap that lots of people that my dad drinks and stuff like that. I'm not into San Miguel or Foster's or whatever. You know, Copperberg Premium Cider will do me fine. But obviously the thing with that is even on just one bottle alone does me, right?
well,
And it
my tipple
gets to
used
my
to be
head.
real ale, usually followed with a couple of Jack Daniels chasers. So yeah, you can imagine what I used to have to work off.
Yeah. But to be honest, because I only ever drink them on special occasions, I don't particularly worry about alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink alcohol on the regular, right? I would never. I mean, it's just something I wouldn't do. I mean, well, I say
Well,
something I wouldn't do because people do things that they would never expect that they would do, right down the line. But
technically, I lie when I said I gave up alcohol. Now,
right,
when we used to go mountain biking, especially in the summer, nice hot day. Yep, you've had 4 hours, 5 hours in the saddle. throwing yourself down mountains and shit, which is very, very physical. Now, I used to enjoy a pint of shandy or half glass of cider, half a pint of cider when the lads used to stop at the pub on the way home for a quick
Yeah.
tipple. So yes, I would, but that was where it stopped.
Can
Go on.
Can I ask Jack, what do you drink normally?
You just said Copperhead.
No.
Are
He said
you
he
talking?
doesn't really
Are you
drink
talking? Are you
alcohol.
just talking about drink in general, not drink alcohol? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, drink in general. What
It's normally either tea, with one sugar. That's the one thing I'm proud of, is I've actually cut down massively on the sugars. I used to have 3, but I massively cut down on the sugars because my 2 cousins, which go to the gym. So I was talking to my uncle a while back, right? And they only have 1 sugar, and I didn't do it because of them or because they have 1 sugar. I did it because having 3 sugars every time I have a cup of tea, for example, is a lot. You imagine I have 3 cups of tea a day. That's 9 sugars compared to, say, 3 sugars.
If you've gone down to 1, Jack, you can easily go to half or a quarter of a spoon.
Yeah, I can.
And
Yeah.
not miss it. You can even take it out entirely. What else do
I
you
just
drink?
drink other than and obviously tea, I don't drink tea all the time, so it might be just 1 or 2 a day. But I also drink. I'm not into just plain old water. It's just something I'm not into. But I usually dilute juice, like orange juice, blackcurrant, whatever, with water, and I drink
lots
that.
of sugar in those.
Yeah.
Actual fruit juices is very high in sugar.
And acids.
Find a cordial that you like is better.
But they are Craig, my mate there from Cornwall. He'll tell you what it was like. You'd be doing a day's work. You go down the pub to work on the door. You always got there an hour early. You always had a couple of pints before you started. You never drank pints while you were working, obviously. You could have a half, but it wasn't seen the thing to be done to be seen drinking pints. And then you'd have your lock-in afterwards after everybody had gone and maybe go on to a nightclub and work there. So you were drinking every day, or I was. And on my days off on a Sunday, well, you can imagine, down the pub, and that was either get carried home or get arrested most of the time, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the sort of drinking you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I know Craig likes the odd pint. He's an ale freak like me. He used to love the ales. But since the strokes, he doesn't do as much as he used to. I mean, I haven't seen the guy other than in a video call for a few years now. But if people down there heard now, like he'll put it around down there, that I packed up drinking, it would probably shock a lot of them. Oh, no way would old Psycho stop drinking, you know.
Yeah.
But I did it, you know.
Psycho's missus ain't stopped.
Yeah, Psycho's missus. That's why she had to change her emails and name, and she couldn't put on those. Yeah, I'm Psycho's missus.
One of the things as well that, I mean,
yes, Craig, you can put my nickname that you gave me in there. I'm not embarrassed by it anymore.
what was it? One of the things that I do eat.
Just put Fluffy.
One of the things that I do whenever I do eat, I mean, and I can see why it's probably not a good idea to have it, but it's like I can't resist because you could say it's a quicker way of cooking, but I mean, obviously there are healthier ways to cook food instead of using a deep fat fryer with oil, right? Like for example, grilling your food or putting it in the oven, for example, right? But the problem is
that's my downfall.
Yeah, the problem is it's more the case of quickness rather than, because like I mean, I do it sometimes where I do use the oven or the grill instead of using the deep fat fryer, the chip fryer or whatever to cook. But if you think about it, especially like vegetable oil and stuff like that, the amount of fats and all that stuff in there that you're adding into the food that you're cooking
Mm.
is a lot more than if you was just to cook it in the oven or the grill. Well, the fat drips, well, like the grill, where the fat drips off of it, like say fish fingers, for example, where the fat will drip off of the fish fingers, and you'll just be left with, well, not left with, but there won't be as much fat in the fish fingers as there would
Only
be.
processed fish fingers.
Yeah, but but
But
I mean,
Jack, if you put
go
it
on.
in the oven, you can walk away. You can't walk away from the fryer.
That's true. Yeah.
Olive oil is healthy for you.
I tend to do things in the oven. I'm not one of these air fryer freaks.
Yeah, I don't do air fryers either, thankfully.
But I'll do things in the oven because I can put it in there for 20, 25 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, and I can walk away from it and it cooks for me. I haven't got to worry about the chip pan exploding or going up in flames, and it's healthier. The other thing to do is drink more, whatever it is, and make sure you have to keep going up and downstairs to the toilet, because an extra 3 trips to the toilet a day will help you exercise.
Yeah, especially walking up and down the bloody stairs. That's my biggest source of exercise at the moment, is getting up and down the stairs. Where's the cat gone, by the way?
Drink the tears of the muzzle, the fall of chalice of God while on the throne of the damned. Oh. And when you think of, I even once tried honey. Right, I put some honey in my cup of tea just to try and see what it tastes like. I didn't like it.
Did you see?
Yeah, Craig, definitely. Let us know when.
Yeah, we're away at the end of June.
First week of July.
For I think it's 10 days. But other than that, we got no plans to go in it. Yeah, I know you like a good cigar. So does Rhino.
But yeah, like I've not had a single piece of toast for a while now, because I haven't touched I don't even know how long it's been since I've touched butter, to be honest. Mainly because of the amount of crap that's in it. And the thing is, because I've always had that particular butter, that brand of butter, right? The problem with me is trying new things, trying other things. I prefer to cook everything myself, to be honest. Or I would feel terrible if I didn't, like, because you get people nowadays that can't be asked to cook or go in the kitchen and cook themselves, and they order takeaway all the time, right? I couldn't do that. Plus, I'd have no money left as well.
Look at the state of a lot of Americans, because they survive on takeaways.
Yeah, a lot of them are getting fat and dying of cancer.
Yep.
Sorry, dying of cancers. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that cancer isn't necessarily caused by eating these unhealthy foods and stuff.
But the weight and the fitness level doesn't help.
Yeah,
Jack,
yeah.
Easy way to lose weight: get yourself a lover.
A what? What? A lover?
Sex burns off a lot of calories, mate.
Yeah, I've heard.
Put it this way: have you ever seen any fat porn stars?
There are people like that.
There are some. To be honest.
Holly knows all about this topic.
But again, it's
why you're still struggling to gain weight.
The more of an active life you lead, the fitter you're always going to be. Now, usually if I walk to the hospital and back, that'll cripple me for a couple of days.
Right. Have you
But
got the same thing as Dan, chronic fatigue?
yeah, the ME.
Right.
But I have to do it because I'm doing myself more harm by not moving about.
Yeah.
You know, my legs, I need to keep the circulation going, especially obviously with the polycythemia. So that little bit of putting myself out, I push myself a little bit. I have got good support on that because Heather has always said, if I feel I can't make it or I'm feeling too rough, I mean, she gave me a right bollocking for walking back from the train station after me and Dan went down to the Revs, because she said, "Oh, as soon as you get back, I'll come and pick you up from the station." Well, I didn't ring her. I walked back.
And like you were wiped out when you got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A,
Again,
the journey, and B, the walk. It was.
Is the train station far from where you live then?
For me, it's probably 3/4 an hour walk. For the average reasonably fit person, it's probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I live less than a mile from the hospital. Literally, if I could go straight up twice the height of the house, I'd be able to see the hospital.
Right, okay.
But that sometimes can take me an hour to walk there because I'll have to have 2 or 3 stops on the way.
Yeah.
Just because I get tired. But while I'm more active and walking about, I mean, just cutting the lawn the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to stop once through doing that, and we haven't got that big a lawn. It's only probably 25 meters by about 10, 15.
Yeah.
But that wiped me out for the day, walking up and down with the mower.
Yeah.
It used to do me a lot more in until we got a mower that starts when I want it to, because and it was a push mower. There's no way I could do that with a push mower now. I'd have to have a motorized one like we've got.
Right,
That's why
okay.
we sorted that one.
And that's why we ended up with that one, is because I was struggling with the other one. With Frankenmower was the worst one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That bloody thing. We had one. Somebody threw it out, and I said, "I'll get that going." And I actually fitted it. The throttle lever was a gear changer off of a bike. I totally removed the governor off it, and the thing used to run at twice the amount of revs it should do.
Wow.
But you actually had to physically push it.
Yeah.
Although it had the engine on it. And it got to a stage where literally I'd have to leave half the bloody lawn and go back and do it the next day.
What?
Because I couldn't
Because
cope.
it was that bad, yeah.
Yeah. You
Do you still find trouble now, or?
It depends on how I'm feeling, because the fatigue.
It can affect you on different
It
days.
affects you different each time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes you'll just feel a little bit tired or a little bit achy, so you need to go and sit down for 20 minutes. Another time, doing exactly the same thing, I'll need to go and lay down for 2-3 hours.
Right.
Or have an hour's sleep.
Just like Dan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, his is a lot worse than mine. A lot worse than mine. But I struggle enough with mine sometimes. But I've learned to cope with it. I've learned where my limits are. I will push myself, but I don't push myself to the level where it's going to be dangerous, as it were.
Right, okay. So you kind of listen to your body. When your body says enough is enough, you thought, okay.
Yeah. And I never used to do that. I'd push myself until I was ready to drop.
Yeah.
But it's adapting. Well, Craig will tell you, because he's had strokes as well. It is a big lifestyle change most of the time. Once you've had a full stroke, the odd little TIA that a lot of people get, and they don't even know they've had it, that doesn't affect you as much. But once you've had that full blown stroke,
yeah,
I mean, I when I had the major one, the big one, first of all, I was sat at the computer when it started. I was sat here,
Really?
and I couldn't lift my right arm. I could not literally lift my arm off the table.
Wow.
And then I started to go a bit lightheaded. So I turned round and sat on the settee. And it was getting worse and worse and worse. And then I started dribbling.
You were losing feeling in your face as well, I
Yeah.
assume.
And I managed to stagger out into the kitchen where Heather was. Obviously, with the speech, I couldn't shout, "Oi, I need some help here." It just wouldn't come out. Now, from what Heather said, literally, I went out and I just sort of put my arms around her, and I just went bum, 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 bum. Nothing
Yeah.
was coming out. It was just bumbling, and then I just dropped like a sack of shit, unconscious on the floor.
Wow.
And at which point she called the ambulance, obviously. How long would you say it was before I came round that one?
That first one, you didn't let me phone because I was
No, the one where I collapsed in the kitchen.
the one where you bashed your head on the corner of the. Yeah, you didn't let me phone. You.
No, I was unconscious. You'd phone them and we phoned to cancel it once
Oh, I
I'd
don't
regained
know.
consciousness. But she said I was out for a few minutes, long enough for her
Okay.
to call an ambulance, put me in the recovery position.
Yeah.
But when I came round, I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what it was. I'd never had one before. And I'll be honest, I was smoking weed at the time. So
Right.
to me, it just felt like what smokers call a whiteout. You've had too much weed.
Yeah.
And it overcomes you. So we cancelled the ambulance. I told her to cancel the ambulance. And they said, "Are you sure?" I said, yep, cancel it. I'm fine. I'm conscious now. I've got all the feeling back. I can talk.
Yeah.
And then when I had the next one, look, this is happening again. I had 4 in an afternoon,
What?
quite bad
4?
TIAs. 4 through an
Bloody
afternoon.
hell.
And by then, I'd realised what was going on. And I said, right, this time, I want an ambulance. Because I thought it was going to end up like the first one.
Okay.
The last one was when I was on Dan's live. I'd
Really?
felt it coming on. I was getting the tingling in my arm, having trouble lifting my hand. And I managed to stagger out in the hallway. What I was trying to do was go out to get a bit of fresh air to try and clear it. And next thing I know, Heather's out there. You all right? You all right? Because I'd actually collapsed in the hallway at the bottom of the
Wow.
stairs. I literally just got through that door there and went down like a sack of shit. But I knew what it was. Now, I knew there was nothing they could do in the hospital other than tell me what it was, because
Yeah.
I'd regained consciousness, got all the feeling back.
Wonder how long
And
ago that must have been then.
that was only a year or so ago.
Wow.
It'll be up on. I can't remember what the date was, but it'll be up on Dan's channel still because he doesn't delete any of the lives.
Yeah.
But Heather actually came over to the computer once I came round because I was really embarrassed.
I do remember that, but I just can't remember the video, to be
And
honest.
she came back to the computer. I went.
Yeah,
off
because
the
she was
bed.
out of breath, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, that was trying to help me out there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't prepared to sit outside the hospital for another 4 hours in an ambulance before they even take me in. And then another big wait in there, sitting there all bloody night for them to say, okay, yeah, you've had one, you can go home now.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother ringing an ambulance that day. But touch wood, I do believe since then I have had a couple of minor TIAs. Now and again, I'll get the pins and needles, and that's why when, like Sunday night, when I started feeling a bit weird, my eyes were going out of focus, I couldn't concentrate. Well, I knew then if I carried on,
Yeah.
I could push it, and it could possibly be one coming on.
Yeah.
So rather than push myself like I did on my own stream last Wednesday, I wasn't feeling good. The head was getting fuzzy.
Yeah.
My vision was starting to go. So I said, that's it, guys. I can't carry on. I've got to cut the stream.
Yeah.
And that was only an hour and a half into a 3-hour stream. So I have wised up, and I don't push myself anywhere near to the limits I used to. And that's why I dropped off Dan Sunday. If he'd have finished at 12 like we'd intended, yeah, I would have been fine. But then it got to like 12:30, 1:45. I thought, okay, knowing what Dan's like, this could go on for another couple of hours. You know yourself, we've sat there from 8 o'clock at night till bloody 5 o'clock in the morning on a stream.
Yeah.
And I knew it, where if he's going to carry on, I'm not going to be able to concentrate. I'm not going to join in. I'm not going to be able to do my modding because I couldn't even see the chat. That was all out of focus, even with my glasses.
Yeah.
So I said, best thing to do is say goodnight, guys. I'm gone. It's a big lifestyle change, mate. And it came as a shock, but I've learned to cope with most of it now. It did upset me for a little bit, quite a bit in the beginning. But everything I do now, rather than just blunder into it, I think about not what I'm doing, but what I've got to do to keep doing it. And if I feel, right, okay, I'm going to push my limit a bit too much doing that, then I don't do it.
Yeah. Never want to push your limit.
No, I mean, my biggest issue is sometimes I'll go and do the washing up. Now, after 5-10 minutes of washing up, I feel like my back's going to give out, my legs are going to give out. And I will literally come in here and either just sit in this chair, recline it, put my feet on the arm of the armchair here.
Yeah.
The cat will get up on my lap and I'll go to sleep for an hour. I mean, Heather went shopping yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yes.
Apparently I'd fallen asleep in the chair. I woke up, she's not here. I'm thinking, what the fucking hell, where's she gone? The car's gone.
Yeah, she's left.
I knew she'd planned to go shopping,
Yeah.
And she didn't even manage to wake me when she went. She was that quiet. She knows I need my sleep sometimes. So she just leaves me to it. And likewise, I couldn't even stay at the daughter's wedding the other weekend into the evening. One, because I had to drive home. Yeah, it's only a 20-minute, half-hour drive. But no way was I doing that feeling very, very rough.
Yeah.
So as soon as the meal had finished and the speeches done and stuff like that, before the disco and things started in the evening, I made me excuses, said goodbye, and I came home on my own because I knew I'd get myself into trouble by pushing it, trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
It was an all-day affair, and I was doing other driving jobs as well, taking the groom to the church and the groomsmen and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was things in place to make sure everybody got home safe. But I even had to leave the wedding early because I didn't feel like I could cope with it all. And again, people say to Dan, they rip him to pieces. Oh, well, you got all this, that, and the other. You got the ME and the fatigue, yet you can sit in front of the computer for hours. One, you're not really moving about. Dan
You're not using a lot of energy on the computer,
No.
to be honest.
And Dan doesn't have problems with the eyes like I do. He is supposed to wear glasses, but he doesn't most of the time.
Do you
But-
have to have bigger text on the screen? Like, do you have to have bigger text, or can you read the text fine?
When I'm sat here at the moment, no, because I mean I've got 4 pairs of different strength glasses here, all prescription.
Yeah.
I've got another 2 pairs in the cupboard over there, which are what I call my driving glasses. They're distance glasses.
Right.
One tinted, one not. But these ones, rather than get a specific pair for doing reading and what have you, I got them to make me a pair up set at the focal distance for the screens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are actually made, the lenses are made for me, for my eyes to see 2 foot.
Yeah.
So I see the screens, unless my eyes are going in and out and focus and watering. They're starting a little bit now, but at the moment I'm fine.
Yeah.
But if I turn around and want to watch something on the telly, which is only probably another 4 or 5 foot that way,
You have to put on a different pair of glasses.
I have to put on a different pair of glasses to see it.
Yeah.
Likewise, we got a
That'd
telly
be
in
quite.
the bedroom.
That'd be quite annoying all the time. Having to every time you want to look at something that's distant, take the glasses off, put another pair on, then you look back, take glasses off. But that must be annoying.
And when I watch telly in bed, I've got another pair of glasses because the telly's further away from me.
Yeah. That must be very, very cumbersome.
It can be bloody annoying, mate. I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, who's off? You off, Rob? Take care, buddy. Don't forget there won't be a stream Sunday night.
Not for the next couple of weeks, I believe.
No problem either. Not a problem,
Is it a couple of weeks, Roger?
I think Dan might be more than a couple of weeks, mate.
Right. Okay.
But what I'm gonna do, we'll give it this week, maybe next week. If he's still away, I will have enough hours left on my StreamYard account to do a short one on a Sunday night. So what I'll do
Enough
is I'll
hours.
I use the free StreamYard one, which is 20 hours a month.
Oh, is that how much you can do a month?
Yeah, for free. Yeah.
Oh.
So what I do, I always say, well, I do me personal streams every month, which is 12 hours because I do 3-hour streams,
Right.
which always leaves me 8 hours in the bank. You don't get to roll them over, but if I want to do an extra stream, or what I'm saying now is if Dan ain't going to be back for a while, then I will fire up a stream on a Sunday for a couple of hours just to give his regulars somewhere to come, because we're all my subs in here. Most of them are Dan's subs as well.
Yeah.
So it gives people
Look at
a
what
chance.
Bruno's just put.
I'm dragging in enormous plums around.
Don't forget,
No,
Roger's
that's only
saying
age, Beardy. That's only age. It's just the lowering of the wet center of gravity, really.
I didn't know that's how StreamYard worked, to be honest. I just thought that you could just stream as much as you wanted to.
No.
That's a bit that. I mean, do you get unlimited hours on the paid version? I think you do, don't you?
No, you get. I think it's unlimited hours.
Yeah.
I can only have 6 people on the panel.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas
paid
with
one,
the other
you
one,
can
it's
have 10.
9. Oh, 10. Sorry, yeah.
10,
Including
including the host.
Including the host, yeah.
So technically 9 guests.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot more you can do. You can record with it. There's a lot more features with the paid one. But to be honest, I don't need one. I don't need the paid one for what I do. So I can't see the point in paying out an extra 20 odd quid or whatever
that
it
makes
is.
Sense. Yeah.
20 hours is enough for me, and you get that for free. So.
Oh, local recordings is 2 hours a month per month. I don't know what that means.
No, if you sign up to StreamYard, I mean, I didn't do it originally. I used to stream through just YouTube. It's just you and that, just you and the screen, as it were.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But Dan told me how to use StreamYard. Heather downloaded it for me and set me up with an account.
Yeah.
Literally, it's only verifying who you are and using your Google account to verify yourself.
Yeah.
And they just automatically renew the 20 hours each month on the day. Like I set up on the 5th of the month. So on the 5th of the month, it resets. Even if I've got hours left, it'll reset to 20 hours.
Yeah.
But I had an issue. It was when evening, Simon, when Dan went down for a little while. I said,
Yeah.
do you want me to fire one up on a Sunday just to give people, the guys, somewhere to come and chat, basically?
Yeah.
And he said, well, yeah, if you want to, that would be nice. But I knew I'd be going over my hours because I'd done extra on mine. So what I did, I just got in touch with StreamYard, spoke to someone called Geege,
Okay.
who apparently is my representative in there. If I've got an issue, that's who I contact. That's the only time I've contacted him.
Yeah.
And what he did, he said, right, well, what I'm going to do, he said, your reset date will move forward a day. So instead of resetting on the 5th, it will reset on the 6th of every month. And he said, I'll give you an extra, 12 hours. He said, but that will only last for 24 hours until you reset tomorrow. So he said, but they won't cut you off in the middle of a stream. Like if I'm streaming now, if I was going on past 10 o'clock, which I usually don't, as you know, and I didn't have enough hours to cover that, as long as I keep the stream going live, they wouldn't stop the stream. They wouldn't cut the stream off.
That's how the Canadian used to. What was her name?
Oh, that Missy, that weird one, Miss Cat.
Miss Cat. That's how she used to do it.
That's how she used to do it. That's why she used to leave her streams running even when she wasn't in there. You would just see her front room.
Oh.
And she used to run 12-hour streams every bloody day.
What, on the free or on the free version?
I don't know whether it was the free version or not. I don't quite know how they worked over there in Canada.
Not really heard anything of her, to be honest. But then again, I don't think you guys probably speak to her anymore, though, do you?
No, she was weird, mate. She was running an experiment, basically.
I think I remember you saying this to me now.
And she got used
on the
to
screech,
everybody.
she called it on the screech.
And then she started dragging some of the drama queens in. Oh, I can sort these out, and then she started slanging off the British Army, calling them murderers and shit like that.
I remember that. I
said, I'm done with you, you bitch, and I left. I said, you're coming out with that shit in front of me. I ain't having it. I'm going.
Yeah, I remember that. That infuriated me.
Yeah, it infuriated a lot of people, mate, and she lost a lot of people that used to go in there. Yeah. But she was weird, and she did have a few more weird ones in there with her, believe me. And I just said, nah, I can't be arsed with that. So I just fucked off and never went back. I told her one night exactly what I thought, and she didn't like it. I said, well, you don't need to ban me. I'm leaving. Bye.
What? You said it on a live stream?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I called her right weird. And not quite as subtle as that, but
yeah.
Yeah, she's one of these. She was literally, what she was doing was trying to psychoanalyze everybody that was in there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, princess.
Yes, I am.
Oh no.
Did you understand that?
Good evening, Simon.
Sorry, Rog, I forgot you're doing Wednesdays now. I'm just all over the place at the moment.
Quick, hold on, quick. Get him away. Get him away.
Either. Take care, buddy.
Simon, look.
Call you back in 5, mate. Call you back in 5. It's Harley. I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm on a live stream at the moment. Give me 5. Right, brief at 5. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry, man. Loads of fucking shit. My boy at the moment.
I was
He's
just going to say,
19.
is that
and
your lad?
Anyway, are we talking about a Canadian woman?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck her. Do you know what? I'm sick to that. After all we've done for her, and I've done for her, and all this fucking shit against our armed
You
forces.
were
and
actually
that.
quite close to her, considering the
I was.
to do with her.
I
Well,
was.
Yeah.
We all tried to build her channel up for her to get her subscribers in and everything.
so we
and then
did.
she
Look
shit
at what
on
we've
us.
done for her. You know, and then that night on she's probably watching now. Trust me, she's watching now. Like that night we had on Pat's channel, and I donated my winnings to her. It cost me double in that because she spent it. And I had to pay for her. She went overdrawn, so I gave her an extra 40 quid or something. Do you know what? Fuck that. Do you know what? I just
How can you go overdrawn? How is that even possible? If you gave her
because she spent the money before she got it.
I see.
Yeah. So you know, and the thing is, right, with this stuff that's going on in Palestine and all that stuff as well, and
well, I'm just looking at the minute. I mean, she's changed her channel. Like it's all. I mean, the ending of her name is all in Arabic now, or is it Arabic or whatever language that they speak?
Sorry about that. That's a bit of It's not Dan. It's a bit of.
I thought you was rubbing your nipple.
It's a bit of satire sauce. Sorry, Dan hasn't sat on my chest.
Yeah, no, I thought. I mean, when she said that about
the army.
Yeah, the armor.
Yeah.
I
told her, she seemed to forget that the fucking Canadians fought alongside us. So
are we talking about that stream for months and months
as well?
Sorry, Rog. Are we talking about that stream from months and months and months ago, where what's his name, Mr. Grumpy, came on? I actually had to defend him on that because what she was saying was, and I can understand, right, in some ways that yes, recent things that have been going on in the world, our soldiers are being used as puppets for something that's nothing to do with us. It's not a Second World War. And I had to agree with him, but I had to agree with her as well. But the way she attacked our armed forces, I didn't agree with, and that's why I can't take a step back.
Well, didn't she say that he was effectively a murderer? And
yeah.
I
mean, he's not my drinking buddy or anything like that, but I had to stand in his corner. She was out of order for doing that.
The thing is, right? I understood what Grumpy had to say, and I understood what Miss Cat had to say. But at the same time, what she has said, not just necessarily on this specific situation, but she also is agreeing with all this Palestine bollocks, which I don't really care about, to be completely honest with you. I think
care about it. Understand what's going on. How we're being manipulated.
You know what I mean, don't you? You know what I mean.
To be honest, 9 times out of 10, she was actually off her tits when she was on.
Yeah, and I think what got what got me was the fact that, you know, I mean, not that I really care anymore, but was the fact that she actually angered me one time, and this was when this wasn't to do with Grumpy or whatever, and it was to do with the whole Palestine, the Palestine whatever, right? And she was saying some stuff about the UK and stuff like that, and saying that these people are the problem, these people are the problem, this and that. She's slagging us off, right? And I'm like, have you ever been to this country? Have you ever fought for your own country before? You know, Grumpy has fought for his country.
Yeah. He was in the chat earlier on, actually. I don't know whether he's still there.
You know, and credit to Grumpy and whatnot. But
the other thing I didn't like about her, she's got 2 dogs there that are very ill.
Oh yes,
and she wouldn't take them to get sorted out, and she wouldn't let anybody take them to get them sorted out.
That's a blatant definition of animal cruelty right there.
Yeah, she had 2 dogs there that needed treatment, and she wouldn't do nothing about it.
I think
Her
one of the
excuse
only
was
mods
that
on there.
she
God
couldn't
bless.
afford it.
You was one of the main mods on her channel, and you did a lot for her. You even offered her money, and she didn't want to take it. Right? You did, if I remember, a lot of because I used to have a lot of conversations with her in the past about it. Donations is when if people offer them, and she always used to say no because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that, right? But I mean, the fact you obviously could tell that she was eager when you gave her that money because you didn't even give it to her and she already spent it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
know.
Moo. We shouldn't be doing it because we don't like bitching about other channels. Most of us
Exactly. You know, I'm saddened by all this because I did care about her, and she has got a lovely heart on her, sort of thing. And then
she was very nice.
I'm gutted. It's come to this, but the thing is, lately with this Palestine stuff and all that kind of stuff, she was broadcasting one night about how Israel were like the Hamas, that they were the rapists, they beheaded babies and stuff like that. And I just can't. No. I just can't stand back and let her. I mean, where did you come, Kat? Where did you get all this from?
I was saying stuff in the chat and she weren't responding. It's like I don't know if I don't think I was blocked from the channel because but then again,
I got blocked. I asked her, look, listen, what you're saying is completely wrong. Let's have a little talk about it. No animosity, but you are so opposite what's really going on. I just got blocked. She didn't even want to know. And I thought to myself, "Why you can't even talk about it?" Wow.
Anyway,
she used to enjoy a bit of a toke. That's how she got me in. Oh, it's my smoking.
No, I don't mind that. That's okay. What's wrong with that? Yeah,
but she was off her tits most of the time, mate. She really was.
She was smoking that devil's lettuce all the time. Although I wouldn't call it that.
Quarter of an hour, guys, and then I'll call that it.
No worries.
Till 10 o'clock tonight, which is surprising. So,
yeah, sorry, Rog. Like I said earlier on, I forgot you're doing the
that's right, mate.
Wednesday stuff now.
I always say nobody is under any obligation to come.
No, I don't get the notifications. I don't know. YouTube is really fucking with me.
YouTube will put me out a lot.
Yeah. I'll be away now, Danny. Either way.
I've been a marked man since the second video I ever done.
Hey, listen, Roger. Any patriot that has got common sense is a marked man.
Well, I said earlier on in the stream on today's video. I don't get that many comments usually on the videos. I get enough views for what I want, but I don't. It's just a few regulars that make the comments. Now, I looked at the list today because I have to go looking for the comments. They don't give me alerts. They hide them. They don't often remove them, but they'll hide them. So I've got to go looking in different areas to try. It's
like they're shadow banning you in a way.
Oh, they've shadow banned me for ages, mate.
Yeah, there's some shit going on. Without a doubt.
But me account was saying there was 35 comments.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'll go and have a look because there's bound to be half a dozen that they haven't put up. But
then there's only a pre-select number of comments, and it's like the rest of them are hidden.
But then I went to look through them all, and by the time I'd found them all and put them up, I had over 50. Yet they were only telling me there was 35 in there. I know I've got more subscribers than I have because I know they keep removing them. Yes, I do know if it's someone subscribes and they're not active on the channel, after a certain period of time, the bots will remove them.
I've never really noticed that, because there have been a lot of channels in the past that I have been. I mean, I remember being subscribed to lots of channels for many years. Right, my subscription list on YouTube was massive, and I actually went and I actually went through and got rid of a lot of subscriptions that a lot of channels that I did not watch or haven't watched for years, right? Or I might, and I've only kept the ones that maybe interest me, that I either watch on a regular basis, semi-regular, or now and again, or if I just maybe want to go to it, maybe whenever I feel like it, whenever I'm interested in, say, like a tech review for maybe like a tool or something, for example, right? But
What kind of tool?
no, just like lots of different. I know, lots of different things, right?
Got a bit. You got to bring a bit of damn pap in here.
But you know, like I have massively reduced how many subscriptions I have compared to what I used to have many years ago. I think I remember having over 200 to 300 subscriptions at one time, but now I'm nowhere near that. But obviously, I've never, especially during that time, I never noticed I ever lost subscribers. The only time that the subscribers wouldn't show anymore is if you go onto a channel that's been removed due to a violation of YouTube's community guidelines or terms of service. Because a lot of the times it would just show up with a blue default image, no banner, and it would just having a red banner or a red bloody solid color that would just say this channel has been removed because it violates our community guidelines or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll click on the bell thing as well, and it's just like I used to get notifications through another account. There's binning on my phone, but now I don't get fuck all. It's just like luck of the draw. Like tonight, I was just flicking about, and Roger's on, and that, I was just lucky. I'm like, yeah.
It always depends as well if you have it set to personal, because obviously, I mean, at the minute I have mine set to personalized as opposed to all. Now I don't really know what that means. Personalized notifications. I don't really understand what that means.
You can get email alerts.
Right.
I don't get any notification of Dan's videos. I will not get any alerts on Dan's videos, even though
you lucky fucker. You lucky fucker. No, check it.
When I set my YouTube channel up, I set it up for backup email alerts through YouTube and Google.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get an email to tell me that someone's commented on my video.
Oh, yeah, I used to get that.
Right, that makes sense now. Right, so the personalized notification option that you can choose when you click on that bell instead of all, YouTube uses various signals to decide when to send you notifications. It includes your watch history, how often you watch certain channels, how popular the videos are, and how often you open it. So, for example, if it's something related to what you watch, it will send you a notification for that video of that channel. But if you have all, it will send notifications for every video that is posted, pretty much. So, which I never knew. I never really understood what the personalized meant. So,
in fact, Brian, who's in the chat now, now he commented on my video today. He's put 2 or 3 comments in, a bit of a thread going and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't find his comment until 7 hours after he'd made it.
Wow.
Some of them, they won't even show, even in the hiding holes, until tomorrow.
It'd be interesting if we set up if anyone on the panel or anyone else has set up another account, and they go to the wokey channels, the wanker kind of like blue and green hair and all that kind of stuff, and free Palestine. See if you get the notifications on those channels.
I do. I check my second account, my second channel.
Oh, and how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, there's only 40 odd subs on it. It's only a backup channel. I do put stuff on there now and again just to keep it ticking over. But that one does get alerts.
Weird, isn't it? It is weird.
Well, because YouTube have a select number of people that they shadow ban. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and obviously it was about like do you know the shorts? Do you know like how they copied it from TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Short. Now apparently if your shorts get a lot of views and then they just decline suddenly, there's a chance that the YouTuber are actually shadow banning your channel,
Yeah.
right? Then they're
But
not sending you
they
any.
changed the way they publicise the shorts now.
Like the fact finders, on Facebook.
Before, if you wanted to go do shorts, you had to dial in that it was a short.
Yeah.
Now there's like a time limit. If you do, say, if I did a video of say a minute,
Yeah, if it's a minute
YouTube
or less, it's a
automatically
short.
recognises that as a short,
Yeah,
and puts it in the shorts list.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
You don't
'Cause
get a choice on it.
yeah, because I've done that. I've done that. Like I've made 2 shorts myself. To be honest,
Well, YouTube is losing the plot. They have been for months, mate. The platform
the past
doesn't
couple
work
of years.
properly.
I mean, I'd rather. I mean, I've tried using TikTok once. I hate it. I cannot get on with it.
No,
I just got rid of.
I won't use Twitter.
So I just get. Oh yeah, I don't use that anymore.
Oh, I do like Twitter. I have to say, I do like Twitter. It's a good source of
Oh, don't
information.
forget, it's not Twitter anymore. It's officially known as X. But I mean,
got, literally on my list, I've got my YouTube.
Yeah.
I've got a BitChute account. I did post videos on there. That was set up when I got pulled down off of here, just so I could keep posting. And to be honest, I got way more views on there than I've ever got on YouTube. But it's a bitch of a platform to use. It's always going down because it's so fucking small. I mean, their head office, believe it or not, is in Andover, Hampshire.
That's a vote for me.
I've got the BitChute, I've got my Facebook, obviously, and I've only got that because a mate of mine and Heather kept persuading me to open it, to open an account, because a lot of my old mates are on there, and I used to have to pass messages to them through Heather, through her Facebook.
And vice versa.
On return. So she said, well, look, if you've got your own, you're in direct contact with them. And okay, yeah, fine. Open one up. Doing quite well on there, to be honest. But I've also got, obviously, Discord.
Yeah.
I've got a Rumble account. But again, it's so much fucking hassle to get on there and post anything.
It's all these different platforms, and you can't do a live on Rumble either. It's too much latency on it.
What was the other one? Odyssey. I had an Odyssey account, which I never bothered using, and I closed it down.
There is something I used to use, but when you mentioned the word latency is a good word to use, actually, Simon, because there's a program, there's an app or a website I used to use called Restream, which allowed you to stream Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and I think also
that's
Instagram.
another one I used to use. Yeah.
You could do that all at once, right? But do you think if you're streaming 4 different platforms, the amount of latency you're going to get? Right. So, because YouTube, you can, in your YouTube settings before you actually start the live stream, you can choose what you want your latency. Hello. Low latency, ultra low latency. So if you want to interact with the chat more, you can turn the latency down to ultra low latency. So effectively, it's pretty much real time almost. Or if you want it to be a bit more relaxed, so you actually interact with the chat a little bit later on, then you can choose low latency, or you can switch it off, I think. But obviously but you're not going to get
BitChute. Now, I'm happy with the viewings I get on here for the size of my channel. It's going the way I want it to. I regularly get now just over the 100 viewings. You know, I'm not into big figures. But the first one I ever posted on BitChute, now I do the same as I do on YouTube on there. I used to post my video. It takes probably 2 hours to go up.
Right.
Because they have to approve it. It's not, post it and it's there. But once it went up, I do the same as I do. I watch my own video back to make sure the quality's all right. There's no mistakes. because the only time I haven't done it, mistakes have been picked up. But while I was watching it through, I could see the viewing numbers going up. Now, it was only a 10-minute video, same as I do on YouTube on here.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I'd finished watching it in them 10 minutes, it had over 300 views.
Mm.
But the comments, the comment section is just so screwed up. And believe it or not, there are more idiots and trolls in there than there is on YouTube.
Surprising.
So I haven't posted anything on there for.
There is actually a suggestion as well, which I actually have never really thought about doing. And a lot of there is an audit channel specifically that does it, where they actually schedule their videos. Right, they schedule their videos at a pre-specific, predetermined time.
Yeah.
Every single day, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the evening.
You can do that on YouTube.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For you, whenever you do your videos, for example, now, obviously, by default, you can have your YouTube channel. Every time you upload a video, it will upload it to public as soon as you hit publish, right? And when it's done and everything like that, it will go public. Now, obviously, if you're not necessarily bothered with the analytics and stuff like that, then I guess it maybe doesn't matter. But for those that do, or that
that doesn't worry me.
Yeah,
the reason mine goes out at
I
different
schedule
times,
mine.
like tomorrow's video will probably be up by about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Simply because I've got no work to do tomorrow, because I've got my notes already written out. Unless there's breaking news tomorrow, like the fucking balloon's gone up or something like that, I will stick to them notes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there isn't normally any new relevant news to talk about at that time of the morning.
Yeah.
But some days when I get my fuzzy head or I'm not working straight, I might make 2 or 3 notes, and then in the morning I've got to put some more to it. So there's a bit more work involved.
Yeah.
Again, when you're inserting clips and stuff like that in your videos or soundtracks, well, what I do is when I'm making my notes, if there's pictures that I specifically want in there, I've got one separate file on here where I keep the pictures or videos for insertion in there. And I try and do them as I'm writing my notes. I'll go and look for the picture I want, look for the clip I want, download some off of YouTube, Facebook that I take my clips from. And then
we're listening.
But I haven't got to do it as I'm editing the video. They're already there. I've just got to put them in. Right, guys, that's gone 10 o'clock.
Cool.
Thank you much.
I'm going to call that it before you two fall in love there.
The most part about it is I think the next time I go on a live stream, that's going to be my name.
Look, I just realised. Fucking Holly, the fucking Graham, the bitch. Look, I just realised I'm still princess. The other night. I'm watching. I'm done. Fuck her. So I'll get her.
She did it. I don't know. She did it before you left.
I keep forgetting about that. I'll change it later.
When you came up in the back room, I said, "Oh, princess is here."
I know. I just thought you'd been having a bit of a private on the what's our channel? No. Dan Paps, the private one. Yeah,
right, guys, because my eyes are starting to water now. Simon, Jack,
Roger.
Thank you very much for dropping in on the panel, mate.
Worries, Roger.
You're always welcome. You know that.
Thank you very much.
I won't go through the full list in the stream there in the chat, but everybody that's joined in tonight, it has been a very enjoyable stream.
Indeed.
And I'm a little bit happier the fact that I've lasted the full 3 hours today.
Fuck off. Fucking
But any updates from Dan, I will put out in my videos because I'm usually in daily contact with him anyway. If there's anything he wants to put out, I will say keep an eye on his community page on YouTube. He will be putting stuff in there to let people know what's going on. He will be putting out 1 or 2 videos when he can get them together. Now he's got the laptop down there.
Yeah.
But until then, guys, thank you for everybody for attending, joining in, chatting,
No worries.
putting in comments.
Good night, Mrs. W.
Good night, Simon. Night, Jack.
Always good to see you.
Right.
And Jack, good to see you as always.
Good to see you too, Simon Loveballs.
And as always, you know what the closing thing is now.
Stay
safe, stay strong, stay free. Respect everybody in the panel and in the
Good
chat.
night, everyone.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Stay safe.
Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone.
3, 2, 1, and
Bye, Roger.
Bye. Oh, hang on. What's